iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racing enthusiasts all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. The car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and racing teams. Our skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly racing series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 200,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Participate in solo races, championship seasons, and hosted and league events with AI Racing. With a rapidly expanding catalog of 70-plus cars and 85-plus tracks from real-world racing series, test your abilities with challenging computer-based competition. Additional partners include IMSA, the World of Outlaws, and Supercars, allowing members to participate in their very own Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, Sebring 12-Hour, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Welcome to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Tonight, we are here at the Kokomo Speedway in Kokomo, Indiana for another winter season for what is the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder winter season week number 9. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler with you for the call as we get set for the first of two races here on Ultimate Dirt TV with the Coast to Coast Racing Network and with the Coast to Coast Racing League. Up first, it is your RSN Trackside 358 Modified Division. Right now, we are getting ready to roll into heat racing. No, in fact, we're going to go qualifying. Sorry, it's going to be qualifying. It's 2 minutes for these drivers set the fastest lap. They'll have 2 laps to lay down their best lap time here at the Kokomo Speedway. Again, going off what the format is going to be just to keep everybody up to date with how it's all going to work. So far, it is going to be qualifying. That's on the program right now. We're 30 seconds into that 2-minute qualifying session. There'll be 3 heat races. Now, everybody, with 23 cars in attendance, everybody is going to make the main event, so no need to run a consolation race. But heat races will be 6 laps in distance. The invert is going to be 4, which means our fastest 3 qualifiers will start from positions number 4 in the 3 respected heat races. So if you're sitting in about 10th, 11th, and 12th, well, you will start on pole of heat races number 1, 2, and 3. So looking forward to seeing how all that plays out. Again, we're coming off what has been another fantastic week. So just to keep everybody up to date here with the Coast to Coast Racing League here on this Gambler Motorsports. Thursday night thunder, the RSN Trackside 350 Modified Division is up first. After that one is done, we'll move over to the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds. Again, we're going to stay right here at this very racetrack. Again, both those races broadcast to you live here on Ultimate Dirt TV, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. After that is done, Ultimate Dirt TV, we're going to shut our stream off. We've got something else to do at 9:30, but however, don't fear with the Coast to Coast Racing League and Coast to Coast Racing Network. They are still going to be live. It will be the Pro Late Models. Now, that will also be on Extreme eSpeed TV for the Pro Late Models, and then to wrap up the night, it'll be the NASCAR Xfinity, and they are going to head to the Richmond Raceway. So big 4 races once again here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And the first of what is going to be a quadruple header on Coast to Coast Racing Network, and a triple header on Ultimate Dirt TV as we bring you back live here from the virtual Kokomo Raceway. Qualifying is done and dusted. Let's take a look at those heat race number 1 lineups here for your RSN Trackside 358 Modified. Scott Ramey lines up the 4 car from position number 1. Jeff Sharp in car number 28. He'll start from position number 2. We go back to row number 2 inside the 218 of Kurt Schatzer. He'll start position number 3, rolling up out of position number 4. Fastest in qualifying, Isaac Salas will go to the outside of that second row. Brian Dickens will roll off the 122 machine from position number 5 to his outside. The 007 of Michael Vecchio will start position number 6. John Hayne lines up the Extreme eSpeed TV, car number 71 from position number 7. And driving the Castleberry Flagstone 18 machine of Logan Wentz to roll off out of position number 8. As the pace car is already to the infield, we are ready to go racing. Rayomi and Sharp will lead us to the green flag off for turn number 4. Here we go. RSN Trackside 358 Modifieds here at the Kokomo Speedway's green. Look at Salas just wheeling and dealing on the top side of the racetrack. He's looking to go from 4th into the race lead here on the opening lap. Rayomi is going to lead. Now Salas diving down to the inside of Rayomi. Rayomi through the middle of the speedway. Down the back straightaway we go. Second time of 6 circuits. So the drivers, they need to not waste any time. They need to get up on the wheel and make this happen as we continue to put another lap into the books. Here is upstairs once again goes Isaac Salas, watching Jeff Sharp in the 28 machine. No use watching the battle for the transfer positions right now because there is no transfer position. Everybody is going to make tonight's main event. Salas again, rim riding the cushion, rim riding the concrete wall through 1 and 2. He's upstairs once again in 3 and 4, but it's Scott Rayomi in the 4 car leading the way here to complete lap number 4 with just 2 circuits to go. But again, Isaac Salas now goes from the outside to the inside. He's going to look for the race lead. Scott Rayomi too good through the middle of the raceway. White flag is out, 1 lap left to go for that 4 car as he works down the back straightaway into 3 and 4 for the final time. Rayomi will protect, and he is going to come away victorious in heat race number 1. So it's just like that. It's done and dusted, opening heat race of the night. Always very little time moving on to heat race number 2, but here is your result. Heat number 1, Scott Rayomi, Isaac Salas, Jeff Sharp, Kurt Schatzer, your top 4, John Hayne, your top 5, Logan Wentz, Michael Vecchio, and Brian Dickens for the drivers in heat race number 1. Heat number 2 will look like this. Anthony Morano will line up on the pole position. Michael Vitale in the 213 machine. He'll start from position number 2. Second row inside with the 007, the expert insultation entry of Samuel Backman from position number 3. The 97 of Butch Baker will roll off out of position number 4. Randall Dixon pilots the 011 machine from 5. Jason Butterfield on the 93 from 6. And then we go back to Dan McLaren, the World Star Yeti number 88 machine from position number 8. Heat race number 2. Coming back to racing here at Kokomo. GYATK, if you know, you know. Baker again. Well, Baker doing what Salas did there on the opening lap, looking to go from the outside of the second row. But it's Michael Vitali to lead lap number 1. 3 wide as Backman goes to the inside of Morano. Baker was upstairs. Morano now going to move up a line in front of Baker. Baker again nearly pushing him all the way. Well, he does push him. He pushes him all the way around. Unfortunately, Morano goes around. Butterfield McLaren in 3rd and 4th position. Second is Samuel Backman with Michael Vitali leading the way right now. Backman with 2, make that 3 to run. He's 1 point, well, he's about half a second away, but it just opens up to 9/10 a second. 1.1, yet really chopping and changing here in Kokomo. McLaren to the inside on Jason Butterfield as they work down into turn number 1. McLaren again to the inside, just making it work all the way around the inside of the raceway. He's got to be careful not to get that infield tractor tie because they do not move, but they can hurt you with 2 to run. Make it, white flag is out. Final time in heat race number 2 of 3. And Michael Vitali in the 2:13 showing the way here at the Kokomo Speedway. Michael Vitali will get the win in heat race number 2. We'll take a look at those official results coming up on screen. There they are. Michael Vitali will win heat race number 2 from Samuel Backman, Dan McLaren, Jason Butterfield, Randall Dixon, your top 5, Butch Baker and Anthony Morano. The 7 drivers in heat number 2. Heat number 3 will look like this. Trevor Garreau in the 075 Super Dirt Car Series entry. He'll line up on the pole position. The Team RWB 513 car, Jeffrey Barker from position number 2. Trent Verstraeten in the Super Dirt Car Series 088 machine rolls off at a position number 3. Kelly Wheeler in the Fusion Setup Shop 111 machine will line up at a position number 4. Jake Henry, the 171 Figures Unlimited, rolls off at a 5 in the Full Throttle Motorsports 83. Dylan Kinsey from position number 6. And Matt Schaefer in the HBR entry in car number 81 will roll off at a position number 7. Final heat race of the night before we move into what will be the warm-up session as Verstraeten now going to look for the race lead. Garreau going to go upstairs, maybe through the middle of the race, where it's probably the best way around as there goes Jeffrey Barker through the middle. Verstraeten will lead lap number 1. Barker, Kinsey from the back of the bus in this one has found his way to position number 4. Verstraeten catches that tyre and goes around from hero to 0. Unfortunately, Jeffrey Barker will lead lap number 2. Garreau to the inside on Dylan Kinsey. Kinsey, boys, making it work. And Dylan Kinsey from position number 6 has now found himself into a battle with Jeffrey Barker for the race lead. We're halfway home here in the final heat race of the night. 3 down and 3 to run. Barker on the inside in car number 513. Kinsey in the black and yellow 83 machine through the middle of the raceway. And boy, the 83 car, it is glued down right now here at the Kokomo Speedway. They'll come to the white flag. Trevor Garreau, Kelly Wheeler, Jake Henry. Wheeler and Henry battling out for positions number 4 and 5. Garreau comes after Barker for that runner-up spot, but Barker now good back on the inside of the raceway into 3 and 4 final time. Barker and Kinsey. Kinsey's going to get the run. Garreau to the outside of Barker. Boy, what a battle that was for that second and third spot. Let's take a look at those official results coming up on screen. The warm-up session is upon us. Dylan Kinsey wins from Jeffrey Barker. Trevor Garreau, your top 3. Kelly Wheeler, Jake Henry, your top 5. Matt Schaefer and Trent Verstraeten will make up the 7 drivers in what is heat race number 3. RSN Trackside 358 Modifieds here tonight from the Kokomo Speedway. With the warm-up session now been slated, we'll take this opportunity to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We'll come back with your Big Block Modified, your 358 Modified up after this one. All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It is Campbell Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder for the RSN Trackside 358 Modified Division. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler with you for the call as we get set for your 30-lap main event. On the pole position with a 4-car of Scott Ramey to the outside of the front row. Driving the 213 car of Michael Vitale. He'll line up at a position number 2. Dylan Kinsey rolls off at a position number 3. Isaac Salas will start from position number 4. Your fifth starter will be Samuel Backman in the 007, the 513 of Jeffrey Barker from position number 6. From 7 with the 28 car of Jeff Sharp. From 8, the 88 of Dan McLaren. From 9, the 075 of Trevor Garreau. Kurt Schatzer rolls off the 218 from 10. From 11, the 93 of Jason Butterfield. From 12, the 11 of Kelly Wheeler. From 13, the 71 of John Hayne. From 14, the 011 of Randall Dixon. From position number 15, the 171 of Jake Henry. From 16, the 18 of Logan Wentz. From 17, the 97 of Butch Baker. From 18, the 81 of Matt Schaefer. Michael Vecchio, the 007, out of position number 19. Anthony Morano, the 32, from position number 20. Trent Verstraeten in the 088 from 21. Brian Dickens in the 122 machine from position number 22. And our field is set. Our 22 starters roll around for what is going to be 30 laps on the board here at the Kokomo Speedway. As they work down into turn number 3 and 4. Green flag about to wave. Ryomi and Vitale. Let's get dirty for 30 here at the Kokomo Speedway and get your ass to Kokomo. If you know, you know. We're 2 and nearly 3 wide through the field, and Isaac Salas once again with a run will go yellow. Jake Henry in the 171 car around. Just had a little help there with Butch Baker in the 97 car. So here's another look at that 171 car. So the Gears Unlimited 171. He goes to the tail end of the field. So first caution of the evening. So wait for the lights to go out on the iRacing.com Steve King Foundation safety car, the pace car. It's off, and we're coming back to green off turn number 4. Scott Ramey in the 4 car, Michael Vitale in the 213 outside the front row. So essentially 1 in the books, 29 to go. The comeback to basically a complete restart. Then we're back underway. A main time once again. Kinsey again immediately to the inside. They went 3 wide. Look out, 3 wide down the back straight away. Salas, Vitale and Kinsey. Salas upstairs. Kinsey on the inside of Vitale right through the middle of the raceway. Vitale holds on to position number 2 at the start-finish line. Going to be big in the grand scheme of things if there was a yellow to come out. And now here comes Isaac Salas. Boy up on the cushion and high, wide and handsome. Up to position number 2 and not done with just yet. Vitale gets into the back of him. Oh my goodness. Problems for our second and third place drivers. Salas with a run on the outside of Vitale. Vitale, unfortunately, oh well. I mean, without getting too much into this one. Yeah, no, Vitale got him, unfortunately. You just see it right at the opening on the entry down into turn number 1. Right there. Just gets him. Kinsey involved, Schatzer involved, Wheeler involved, Dixon involved, Hayne involved, Morano involved. They somehow pulled it up, but boy, that is tough. However, Scott Ryomi is your race leader. Lights around on the pace car. Again, the field doubles up into 2x2 formation. Ryomi, Kinsey on the front row, Backman Alongside Barker in row 2, Trevor Garreau, Dan McLaren. They find themselves on the third row. Sharp and Butterfield, row number 4, and the green flag is out. I notice there's no Patrick Spangler here this evening, so not sure where that 39 car is, but we still race on with 22 cars on the raceway. And again, they go 2 and 3 wide. Meanwhile, Dylan Kinsey going to look to the outside here on Scott Raomi, looking for the race leaders. They work down into 1 and 2. Garreau went to the inside as he now moves up to position number 3 with Kinsey and Raomi. Kinsey again just a little bit higher than what Raomi is off for turn number 4. And Dylan Kinsey is going to lead what is lap number 6. Garreau to the inside of the 075 machine, just finding the shortest way around the tight little ball ring known as Kokomo Speedway. And again, Garreau coming up, the race leader of Dylan Kinsey down into turn number 1 and 2. He looks just a little bit better in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is that what is going to be the downfall there of Trevor Garreau. Raomi still holding on to position number 3. Samuel Backman in that 007 machine in position number 4. Here comes Trent Verstraeten out of the inside. Verstraeten, remember, in that heat race, he went from hero to zero, ended up finishing dead last, so he's had to come from the near tail end of the field. As we look at who's made up the most spots, Verstraeten, he is up 16 positions, make it 17. 16 if he runs, so he's come from 21st to a top 5 at the minute. Boy, what a battle you've got. Look at the top 5 on screen. You can really throw a blanket over from Trevor Garreau now. Again, he's looking for the race lead down into turn number 3 and 4. Kinsey again through the middle, Garreau to the outside. That is too close to call. Only a few 1,000th of a second. Oh boy, Verstraeten again. Did that left front catch the tyre? Raomi, Samuel Backman as well. Boy, what a battle this is. Backman now back to the outside on Verstraeten in the 088 machine. Raomi again got the company with Trent on the inside and Samuel Backman in the 007 behind him. This time Kinsey's going to run low through turn number 3 and 4. And just like that, we're only a couple of laps away from half race distance as Verstraeten now goes to the inside of Raomi, picks up position number 3 down into turn number 3 and 4. Oh boy, Verstraeten, you don't want deja vu to come. Here comes Samuel Backman now coming after him. Verstraeten now to the inside, going from position number 21 all the way up to position number 2. Raomi goes upstairs into 3 and 4. We'll bring on the yellow Z81 car of Matt Schaefer. Let's see if he had a helping hand in this one or whether he went all on his own. Oh no, had a little bit of a helping hand there with the 218 car of Kurt Schatzer. Gee whiz. Have a go at this. Gee, this racetrack and these guys are putting on one hell of a spectacle here tonight at the Kokomo Speedway. It's all about who can get the job done, who will take home the glory here at Kokomo. Ready to go back racing, halfway home, 15 down, 15 to run here at Kokomo. Gambler Motorsports RSN trackside, 358 modified on the raceway. We're in the A main. Verstraeten again will go to battle with Dylan Kinsey for that runner-up position, second and third on screen. Verstraeten down to the inside. Kinsey again going to work it upstairs. Samuel Backman by the forker of Scott Raomi. Jeff Sharp nearly closing in on top 5 position. But here is your battle for the top 3 positions right now. Garreau and Verstraeten on the inside. Kinsey still wheeling and dealing up on the top side of the raceway. Through the middle goes the 83 car. And you go back to the heat race earlier on at the night with what was heat number 3s will go yellow. And Dylan Kinsey went from the back to the front. And he done it just going through the middle. So yellow on the raceway once again here at Kokomo Speedway. Again, we're just waiting for the lights to go out. So 11 more circuits around Kokomo for Trevor Garreau. Can he hold on to a victory? We'll wait and find out. Can Dylan Kinsey find his way to victory lane? The lights are out. Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder RSN Trackside 358 modified divisions. Don't forget the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds to come up after this one. Probably in about 10 to 15 minutes time is when you're probably going to see some Big Block Modifieds take to the racetrack. Maybe about 20 minutes at the bottom of the hour. Here we go. 19 complete, 11 to run. Verstraeten again to the inside right there on Dylan Kinsey into turn number 1 and 2. Now again pulls alongside Samuel Backman trying to wheel and deal and hustle and bustle on the top side of the racetrack. Verstraeten now will move to the runner-up position at the start-finish line. He's just making it work on the low side of the raceway. Here comes Kinsey again, rolling right through the middle of Speedway into 3 and 4. And he seems to have 3 and 4 figured out. They're just sick. He's just losing a whole lot of speed in turn number 1. Help for turn number 2. And again, he just closes in on the 088 machine. Maybe needs to go through the middle of the raceway. Oh, Butch Baker around. Yellow, Butch Baker around in the 97 car. Contact with Isaac Salas in the 5. They both just sent it upstairs. Salas just got a little bit better of a run into turn number 3 in the 97 car. Oh, Baker will go around. A tough break for Butch Baker after going, I think, what was second quick earlier on this evening. All right, so the pace car will hopefully turn its lights off this time. Don't forget, Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds to come after this one. The lights are out, and we've still got Ultimate Dirt TV. We've got a triple header here this evening. 2 out of the 3 will come from the Coast to Coast Racing League. 9:30 Eastern is when we'll be live for the Down and Dirty Outlaw Pro Late Model Series, but more on that later on. Let's worry about Coast to Coast Racing League first. We've got RSN Trackside 358 Modified main event with 7 laps left to run. We go back to the green. This time Kinsey's going to figure it, well, I'll just stay to the inside of the raceway as he holds on to position number 2. Down to the bottom side again. Maybe just needs to again keep it through the middle of 3 and 4, but stay to the bottom side of turn number 1 and 2. Verstraeten out to the inside on Kinsey as they work down the back straight away, side by side, fender to fender, wheel to wheel, down into turn number 3. 5 to go at the start-finish line for your race leader. We're watching Verstraeten and Dylan Kinsey working out top and bottom right there, as it's going to be Verstraeten who had second at the start-finish line. They'll come into 3 and 4 with just 4 circuits to go. Verstraeten got a little crossed up there on the exit of turn number 4. He just got it a little bit wider. The 075 machine just starting to fade away right now. And not the time to fade away, not with 3 to run, not when you've got Kinsey and Verstraeten, who are dead set on a roll right now. Top and bottom, they start to reel in your race leader. Have the tyres gone away on the 075 machine? It certainly looks that way. You've now got a 3-way dance for the race lead. Kinsey upstairs, down into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Just gets into the wall. That'll pretty much end his race for a chance at a podium position or even the race win. White flag is out for Verstraeten and Trevor Garreau. Or it's going to be on for young and old right now. Verstraeten to the inside. Here he comes back to the outside. Verstraeten down into 3 and 4. Garreau going to slide it up right across the nose. They're back to the outside. Trent Verstraeten. It's a photo finish. A photo finish for Trent Verstraeten and Trevor Garreau. I can tell you now, 10 1,000ths of a second is all that separates Trevor Garreau, Trent Verstraeten for the race win. One of these drivers is going to be absolutely elated with jubilation and going to park it into victory lane in the Brian Clausen Park at victory lane cam. Who's it going to be? I'll let you find out here in just a few moments' time. Here he comes, about to pull up on the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Trevor Garreau. He will park it in Brian Clausen victory lane. What a feature race that was to finish off the night. Trevor Garreau, 10/1000th of a second over Trent Verstraeten. Dylan Kinsey in third. Brian Dickens, 4. Samuel Backman rounds out your top 5. 6 will go to Isaac Stella. 7th is Anthony Morano. Kurt Schatzer, Jeff Sharp and Logan Wentz will make up your top 10. 11th will go to Scott Rayomi Kelly. Wheeler 12th, Dan McLaren 13th. Michael Vitale, John Hain round out your top 15. Then you go back to Randall Dixon, Jeffrey Barker, Jake Henry, Butch Baker, Matt Schaefer, your top 20 cars. And still the 20 cars on the lead lap for Michael Vecchio, 2 laps down in 21st. Jason Butterfield, 4 laps down in position number 22. Let's take a quick chat to the drivers that come home with your top 3. We'll chat to third place driver right now. It's the 83 car of Dylan Kinsey. Dylan, congratulations on this third place finish here tonight. Boy, that was a hell of a race up until those final couple of laps where you made that mistake. This 83 car was on an absolute tear tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm actually really surprised. I really don't like this track at all. I don't really know how to race it. And after that heat race, that shocked me that I drove from 6th up to the front. And then yeah, that last couple laps I tapped the wall and I thought it was going to be good, but then my front end came around and got sucked in it and I thought it was over with. And then I don't know, I just put my head down and just drove hard through the middle.
Well, I tell you what, what's it going to take to go one or even 2 better? What's it going to take to go 1 or 2 better here in the big block modifieds?
I got to figure out the bottom a little better maybe. But hopefully the same line is going to work for big block. I kind of like that line that I was running.
Hang on. All right. Sorry, Dylan. All right, before we let you go, Dylan, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 83 car. Dylan, you want to thank everybody involved on the 83 car?
Yeah, I got to thank everyone at Full Throttle Motorsports. I've gotten better since I've been with those guys, and all the guys are over there. They're all good guys. I got to thank Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car, you Brett for the broadcast, and everyone at Coast to Coast that makes it happen.
All right, guys. Sorry, we just had something go down. All right, let's chat to second place driver of Trent Verstraeten. In fact, let's just change the microphones because for some reason this one is not picking it up all that well. Check 1 2 1 2. All right, Trent Verstraeten home in second spot. Trent, boy, I tell you what, this ADA machine from 21st to second, that is a hell of a run, buddy. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm honestly pretty surprised by it. Just kind of got lucky there.
You flip the switch. Let's go back. Let's talk about that heat race. You go from leading, you make one little mistake on the low side, which puts you at a 7th place finish in the heat race. Does that bring the confidence down a little bit, or what was the confidence like right after that second heat race?
Yeah. So kind of just got it. I don't know what happened. Just kind of stepped on it and went into 3 and 4 really weird, and kind of had to lock it up and then spun out. So yeah, it was definitely the confidence went like plummeting down there, and I kind of was just trying to went from trying to win the race to just trying to survive. But honestly, we got a lot luckier than I thought we would.
Talk us through that last lap when you got a run there on Trevor and you decided to go to the middle. 10/1000th of a second was all that separated you two at the end. That must have been exciting from inside the cockpit of that 088.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, so just kind of knew that Dylan was making it work there for a while because me and him were swapping back and forth the position, like second and third. And then once I seen that he dropped back because he hit the wall or whatever, I was like, if I want to try to go for the win, I gotta switch my lineup. So I went and took the middle of 3 and 4 since it was working really good for Dylan, and almost made it work against Trevor, but he held on for the win. So good for him.
Trent, hell of a drive from 21st up to position number 2, buddy. Before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 088 machine.
Sorry, you're kind of breaking up there. I didn't catch a word of that.
I was just saying, we'll let you thank everybody involved. Oh, hang on. All right, better now. No, hang on 1 second. Let me just change microphones. All right, that should be a little better for the moment. Trent, I was just going to say, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 088 machine for a second place finish.
Yeah, so I'd just like to give a shout out to Dean Reynolds and the Super Dirt Car Series and Roger and everyone behind the scenes.
Seem to have lost everything.
C2C,
1 second.
And
just things go wrong. They go wrong.
And you for broadcasting every week.
All right, got a copy now. Trent. Ah, boy. It's bringing that one down. Trent, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, no, hang on. Now I've lost everything. 1 second. Hang on. I'm just going to turn the headset off. Apologies, folks. We're just... For some reason, these things just like to happen. All right, Trent now. Check 1, 2.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Nope, I've got you. Hang on just 1 second. Now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I got you. Sorry. All right, now, we'll try this for a third time. It's all on my end, by the way. Now I'll let you thank everybody involved in this 088 machine.
Yeah, so I'd just like to give a shout out to Dean Reynolds and the Super Dirt Car Series for sponsoring, and Roger and everyone behind the scenes at C2C for putting the league on, and you for broadcasting every week.
Trent, well done on second spot. We'll see you back in the Big Block Modifieds very shortly.
Thank you.
All right, Trent Verstraeten home in second spot. Home in first place tonight, Trevor Garreau in the 075. Trevor, 1/10,000 of a second. That is all that separates you and Victory Lane. How does this one feel, knowing that, boy, it come right down to the final lap?
Well, I'm happy I'm on the right side of a photo finish this time. You know, that with it's been haunting me ever since that finish between me and Isaac there, when he ran me down after with a 2-second lead. So I'm happy to be on the right side of it.
I'm going to ask you, with about 4 or 5 to go, it looked like the tyres were faded away on this 075 car. Was that the way that you felt, or were you just getting a little bit more nervous, lap after lap, knowing that, you were closing in on a potential checkered flag?
Yeah, I'm notorious for getting nervous when the laps are winding down and you're leading, and so it's probably a little bit of both. Probably a little bit more of my nerves. I know I got real close to the tires there a couple times, and then I could kind of feel my right rear was sliding a lot on exit. I probably burnt it up pretty bad.
Trevor, well done on the victory here tonight in the RSN Trackside 358 Modified Division. Before we let you go, we'll let you thank everyone involved on the 075 car.
Oh yeah, I just want to thank my teammate Trent there for that was some good racing there. I mean, he probably could have dumped me and for the win, and he's just that type of guy. He doesn't want to win like that, right? So shout out to him and my good buddy Caleb, and you for doing the broadcast, and Dean Reynolds at the Super Dirt Car Series, and everyone at C2C.
Trevor, well done on the win. We'll see you back in the Big Block Modifieds very shortly, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Trevor Garreau home in position number 1. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Back in just a few short moments.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It is now time for the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds to take to the racetrack here at the Kokomo Speedway in a field of what is going to be 19 drivers have signed into the virtual pit area. We've just come off the RSN Trackside 358 Modified Division where it was Trevor Garreau getting a 10/1000th of a second victory over Trent Verstraeten home in second spot, Dylan Kinsey in third, and boy, what a race that was in the distance of 30 laps. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler once again with you for the call as we get set for winter season week number 9 here at the Kokomo Speedway. I'm not sure how long we've got left in the practice session. I believe we are just waiting for the actual decision to come through from race control. And then, of course, once that is all done, we'll be able to let you know. But to keep up to date with what's going on here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, here on this Thursday Night Thunder, of course, you've got the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds to come. After this one, Ultimate Dirt TV will shut off after this broadcast. However, Coast to Coast Racing Network is still going to be live. We're then going to switch it over to also Extreme E-Speed TV, who will take over the Pro Late Models and the NASCAR Xfinity cars from the Richmond Raceway. We're not too far away from what will be qualifying session here. And again, just to recap what is going to be for the format, I should say. The format for tonight's Big Block Modifieds. It's going to be practice. We're almost wrapped up with the practice session right now. We're then going to move into 2 minutes of qualifying, 2 laps. Then we'll move into the first of 3 heat races. Again, there will be 6 laps in distance. We're going to have an inversion from qualifying to the heat races. Again, that inversion number is going to be 4. So the top 12 are going to be inverted. So first, second, and third fastest will start from position number 4 in the respected heat races. No need for a consolation race here this evening. Again, like I said, 19 cars signing into the pit area. We'll have a warm-up session and then our 30-lap A main event to come here from the Kokomo Speedway. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to show you qualifying. Yes, we are qualifying on the program right now. And let's see who one of the first drivers is on the raceway to get out there and turn a lap time here at Kokomo Speedway, Kokomo, Indiana. And we see one of the first cars on the raceway is going to be the 513 car of Jeffrey Barker. Jeffrey Barker in the Mega Plumbing Bilstein 513 car. Again, we still wait for those fastest times to come through. Now, these times... The good thing about this one, the good thing about qualifying is at the moment, is the fact that everybody gets to hit the racetrack at the same time. Isaac Salas, quick time with a 12.440. Barker, 6 quick with a 12.793. Dixon, now there's Anthony Morano in car number 32 laying down the lap time. Or about to lay down a lap time, trying to chase Isaac Salas with a 12.440. Morano going to go in position number 12. Trevor Garreau 8th. Quick Dylan Kinsey. Kelly Wheeler on the racetrack. Michael Vecchio also on the speedway as well. Vecchio 18th. Quick with a 14.560. A 14.560. Lap number 2. Boy, not the lap there for Michael Vecchio. So Kelly Wheeler. See if Kelly can lay down a lap time in the Fusion setup shot. Dirt FX Designs number 110 car. Wheeler 12th quick with a 12.906, a 12906 for Kelly Wheeler. And of course that will wrap up the qualifying session here. Again, there's just 10 seconds left, but it is going to be all but done and dusted here from the Kokomo Speedway for qualifying here with the Big Block Modifieds. And again, we'll take a look, or we'll come up to the 3 heat races on the program. Isaac Salas again up. They're going quick time for the second time tonight. He will start outside outside the second row. Here we go. Your starting lineup, heat race number 1 for the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified. Samuel Backwin rolls up the Full Throttle Motorsports number 7 machine from pole position. Jeff Sharp in car number 28 will roll off at a position number 2. Position number 3, driving the Full Throttle Motorsports number 4 car. That's Scott Ryomi and Isaac Salas in the Venom Racing Subaru Car Series number 5. Will start from position number 4. Anthony Morano, the Full Throttle Motorsports 32 car, will start from position number 5 from 6. Driving the Castleberry Flagstone 18 machine. That's Logan Wentz. And to the back of the bus, Michael Vecchio in the AMR number 007 car will start from position number 7. Heat race number 1 here at the Kokomo Speedway. Safety car is already off the racetrack. Samuel Bachman and Jeff Sharp. Front row, catalytic recovery. Big block modified. Green flag is out. Heat race number 1. And Bachman going to lead the field down into turn number 1 and 2. Keep an eye on the Venom Racing Super Car Series number 5 car by Zach Salas. Straight to the top shelf down into turn number 3 and 4. Salas comes up the Sharp as he finds himself into position number 2. But Samuel Bachman leads the way. The winner of this one will start on pole of tonight's 30-lap main event. Bachman now going to choose to go up to the top side of the racetrack into turn number 3 and 4. He'll do the same into 1 and 2, trying to take the line away from Isaac. Salas just trying to slow the 5 up, but Salas not going to be slowed down just yet. He'll go down to the inside, looks for the slide jump on Bachman, and Bachman around the outside. Bachman still holds on to the race lead, now nearly 3-1 as they work through turn number 1 and 2. Bachman, Salas and Sharp. Sharp not giving an inch now on the inside of the racetrack. Logan went from the back of the field as they work down the front straightaway here in heat race number 1. Catalytic recovery, big block modifieds here from the Kokomo Speedway. Salas again coming up the Sharp as they work down into turn number 3. It's still going to be Samuel Bachman leading the way with just 1 lap left to go. Bachman, final time and down into turn number 3 and 4. Checkered flag coming out for Samuel Bachman. All right, apologies about that. We just had to take an urgent phone call. But heat number 2, again, apologies not going through the starting grid. Trevor Garreau leads. Jeffrey Barker, Trent Verstraeten, Randall Dixon, John Haynes. And then you go back to Michael Vitale. Haynes to the top side, down into 3 and 4. Verstraeten again, boy, just looks like he's struggling a little bit down to the low side, but now comes back after the Mega Plumbing Bilstein 513 car of Jeffrey Barker. Garreau, your race leader, picked up the win in the RSN trackside 358 modified by 10/1000 of a second over the man on screen in the Yo 88 machine. Oh boy, problems for Barker. He caught the infield tractor tire. Here comes John Hayne down to the top shelf, down into turn number 3 and 4. He comes Hayne around the outside. Oh my God, John Hayne, did he steal that one from Jeffrey Barker? No. Heat 2 results coming up on your screen. Garreau, Barker, just from Hayne, Verstraeten, Dixon and Vitale. Gee, the heat races are turning it on. Heat number 3, Kelly Wheeler will start alongside Dan McLaren on the front row. Then you go back to Matt Schaefer alongside Jason Butterfield. Row 3, the final row will be Dylan Kinsey and Jake Henry to make up the 6 cars in heat race number 3. As we get set once again here for Kokomo Speedway, catalytic recovery, big block modifieds here. Once again, Gambler Motorsports, Thursday Night Thunder, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, live on the on Ultimate Dirt TV. Come back to the green. Oh, we'll come to the green for the first time in heat race number 3. Dan McLaren, Kelly Wheeler. Wheeler on the inside. McLaren, look at that leg. Nearly 3 and 4 wide. Almost down the back straight. Through 1 and 2, I should say. 3 wide. Look at Matt Schaefer roll. The inside of the speedway gets tight. Nearly comes up into the side of Wheeler. But Dan McLaren and Wheeler again. Schaefer on the inside. Kinsey to the inside on Butterfield. But your race is on for the race lead. McLaren in the 88 to the top shelf down into 3 and 4. Then you go back to Schaefer in Carnival 81, boys. Schaefer making it work in that 81, 3 wide down off turn number 2. McLaren, and then look at that battle between Wheeler, Butterfield, Kinsey. Big gap back to about a second back to Jake Henry, but boy, the battle is on right now for first, second, third, fourth, and fifth position. And the 6 cars in this one are really putting on a show, all except, and I hate to say this, but Jake Henry, oh no, McLaren got into the side, and that's taken out 3 and 4 cars. Now it turns into a 2-way horse. A 2-horse race right now between Kelly Wheeler and Dylan Kinsey. And can Kinsey do it again? Can he lock out? And can he show some speed in the heat race to get himself a good starting spot in tonight's main event? Wheeler, Kinsey, down the back straightaway, 3 and 4 for the final time. Kinsey tried it deep into 3 off for turn number 4. Kelly Wheeler victorious. Second will go to Kinsey, Henry third, Schaefer fourth. Fifth will go to Butterfield, and Dan McLaren, I believe, somewhat just stopped on the front straightaway after getting into the back and causing that little pile up there on the front straightaway. So an honourable mention there to Dan McLaren, who'd realised that he made the mistake, and to be penalised for that one, he opts to put himself at the back of the field. So Dan McLaren, tip your hat off to you, buddy. Kelly Wheeler gets the win by 2/10 of a second over Dylan Kinsey, Jake Henry, Matt Schaefer, Jason Butterfield, and Dan McLaren. That will be your top 3. We'll take another quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We'll come back with your main event on the other side of this. You're watching the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified from Kokomo. And we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, your Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Catalytic Recovery here on Ultimate Dirt TV as well. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler with you for the call as we get set to take a look at your feature race, starting a lineup for tonight's Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified. Samuel Backman lines up alongside Trevor Garreau in row number 1 of your main event. Row number 2 going to be Kelly Wheeler alongside Isaac Salas. Row 3 will see Jeffrey Barker start alongside Dylan Kinsey. We go back to row number 4 will be Jeff Sharp alongside John Hayne. Row 5 will see Jake Henry and Logan Wentz. Row number 6 will be Trent Verstraeten and Matt Schaefer. Row number 8 will be Scott Rayomi and Randall Dixon. Row number 8 will be Jason Butterfield alongside Anthony Morano. Row number 9 will be Michael Vitale and Dan McLaren. Then we go back to row number 10 by himself. Michael Vecchio lines up the 007 machine from position number 19. We get ready for your Catalytic Recovery. Catalytic Recovery. Big Block Modified A main event here live on Ultimate Dirt TV, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It is showtime, ladies and gentlemen, as they get the Wonder Green signal this time off for turn number 4. The racing.com pace car and the Steve King Foundation safety car is going to make its way to the infield on the exit at turn number 2. And then it is showtime. We go back to the RSN trackside 358 modified division. Trevor Garreau got the win over Trent Verstraeten, who started 21st, mind you, by 10/1000 of a second, and Dylan Kinsey rounded up the podium. Who will it be in the Big Block Modifieds? Catalytic Recovery, Big Block Modifieds. Let's get dirty for 30 here tonight at the Kokomo Speedway. It's going to be Trevor Garreau and Samuel Backman will lead the field. It's going to be Samuel Backman leading down the back straightaway. Salas on the outside of Wheeler. On the inside goes Jeffrey Barker in the Mega Plumbing Bilsteins number 513 car. Garreau going to go upstairs. Jeff Sharp, oh boy, he got tight, nearly got into the side of Wheeler. Down into turn 3 and 4 we go. Garreau through the middle. Barker on the inside. Barker has second and going right upstairs. Eating the concrete is going to be Isaac Salas. Salas will make quick work of the 075 machine here in the early parts of this main event. He had absolutely no luck in the RSN Trackside 358 modified main event, but here comes Barker with a challenge on Samuel Backman down into turn number 3. Backman going to go upstairs, going to protect and try and slow down the 5 car, but leading lap number 4 is going to be Jeffrey Barker. Garreau to the inside now, getting by Salas once again. Salas just caught a piece of the concrete on the back straightaway. Salas again will take away position number 3. We've got yellow. That is going to be Michael Vecchio in the 007 car. Let's see what happened here to Vecchio. Oh, just got a little out of shape there in front of the 81 car of Schaefer. So Vecchio will stop to bring on the cautions. Jeffrey Barker, boy, he looks good early on. I'm going to say as does. I'm going to say that the top 4 or 5 drivers that look really good at the start of this feature event, but it's all going to come back to who's going to be able to have the tyres saved as well late in this one. Kokomo Racetrack, I don't think you really have to save all that much compared to like the big half-mile racetracks, the likes of Knoxville, Eldora, Charlotte, those type of racetracks. The bigger racetracks, these smaller racetracks, I think you can get on it a whole lot quicker, considering that it's going to be a lot shorter of a distance away around this, what I think, I'm pretty sure it's a quarter-mile racetrack, so we'll see who's going to have the best car at the end of this one. But right now, your Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds here tonight from the Kokomo Speedway. Don't forget, in about just about an hour and a half's time, an hour and 40 minutes time, Ultimate Dirt TV is going to be live once again, 9:30 Eastern, but for the now, Coast to Coast Racing Network is going to be live for at least the next couple of hours. Pro late models and the NASCAR Xfinity cars also live on Extreme eSpeed TV. Here we go, back to green flag action. We'll see what Isaac Salas is going to do from the inside of that second row. We know he just likes to send it upstairs. Samuel Backman now going to get a run on Salas down into turn number 3, but Salas just content with run on the low side right now. So the Kokomo Speedway proving that it's got the number of different lines to choose from. You've got a top, you've got a bottom, You've got drivers starting to work to the middle of the racetrack. Here comes Bachmann. We go 3 wide down into turn number 3 and 4 for the race lead. Lap number 8 going to belong to, I think it was Samuel Bachmann at the start-finish line. Maybe Jeffrey Barker, flip a coin, but you don't need to flip a coin right now because here comes Bachmann to the top shelf and around the outside of Barker, and also going to the top side is going to be Isaac Salas. So Salas now, since he thought, you know what, okay, Barker, you lead the way. I'm going to come after you here in just a few moments' time. I'll get myself sorted into a rhythm, and now I'll launch an attack in about 3 or 4 laps' time. Trevor Garreau working to the inside there on Barker. Barker again trying to work over Isaac Salas as they work down into 3 and 4. Here comes Verstraeten out of the top shelf. John Hayne working it upstairs. That Extreme E-Speed TV number 71 machine. There's a challenge for the race lead. Slide job's about to come as they work down into turn number 3. Slide job by Salas. Oh, caught catching the wall was Bachmann, and that hadn't changed the line there. That changed the mindset of Isaac Salas going down into turn number 3. Garreau now find his way to a podium position, going to battle it out with the 088 car of Trent Verstraeten. Verstraeten and Garreau, they finished 1-2, 10 one-thousandths of a second, separated them in the 358 RSN trackside main event. What will it be this time? Will they find it out for the final spot on the podium? At the moment, they're almost going to be finding it out because Trevor Garreau has got position number 3. Now he's got second, but now Isaac says, no way, buddy, get your backside trackside because you're going to go back to position number 3. And Verstraeten is now going to send it upstairs. We're officially halfway home. It's 15 down and 15 to run. Samuel Bachmann, wouldn't this be a popular win if the Full Throttle Motorsports number 7 car was able to hold on to a victory here at Kokomo Speedway? Salas again coming after Bachmann as they work down into turn number 1 and 2. Garreau on the inside. Oh boy, this is on right now for the race lead. Salas is really putting the pressure on Samuel Bachmann. Garreau still trying to make it work on the low side through turn number 1 and 2. He pulls up alongside Bachmann and Salas, but it's both drivers of Salas and Bachmann who get the run on the outside of turn number 2. Going to the middle of turn number 4 goes Salas. So trying to change up the line. Back to the low side, down into 1 and 2 goes Salas. Here comes Bachmann around the outside. Oh, what a move by Samuel Bachmann. 11 to go at the start-finish line as they work through turn number 3 and 4. Trevor Garreau have a geese at the 075 car, making it work on the inside of the raceway. 10 laps left to run here in the main event, the catalytic recovery. Big block modifieds. Garreau makes a huge mistake there. That will give Salas back the runner-up spot. Still trying to run down Samuel Bachmann here in big block modified competition. Gambler Motorsports. Thursday Night Thunder Winter Season Week number 9. And again, each and every Thursday night with the 358s and big block modifieds, these drivers put on an absolute clinic of a show. Bachmann just catches the concrete wall, opens the door for Salas down to the inside. Slide jump coming, slide jump complete, crisscross underneath goes Bachmann. This is what Salas wanted. Now Salas is going to get to the top shelf, slide up right across the line to Bachmann. Oh boy, at the line, Salas will lead that lap with 7 to run. And you would think that would be all she wrote right now. You give Salas free rein on the top side once he's into the race lead. He is almost going to be near unbeatable at this stage. Bachmann still not giving it up without a fight. Trevor Garreau down to the inside. Garreau will find his way up to the runner-up spot. And again, just still working it to the low side. And again, makes a mistake. He looks so much better in 1 and 2 than what he does in 3 and 4. Samuel Bachmann again. Here he comes at Full Throttle Motorsports number 7 car. 4 circuits to go for Isaac Salas. And I hate that we haven't really seen anyone other than sort of your top 3 or 4 cars in tonight's feature event. But hey, where would you want to look right now? Because, oh, Salas into the wall. That's a mistake. That's a huge mistake. I think he should have enough to hold on though with 2.5 to go. Isaac Salas catching up to the back of lap cars. He knows that the pressure is going to be on from Samuel Bachmann. He just needs not to catch these lap cars. Jake Henry in the 171. There goes Vecchio down to the infield. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap left to go. 3 laps to go. He made a big mistake, but he still had enough to hold on to the race lead. White flag is out. Final time. Here at the Kokomo Speedway, the catalytic recovery, big block modifieds. Salas goes to the inside. He doesn't want to get anywhere near the concrete wall. Isaac Salas is going to pick up a main event victory. Oh, it's salsa time, baby. Isaac Salas with the win. We'll wait for the rest of the cars to come across the start-finish line. But he's wasted very little time to park it up in Brian Clausen, victory lane. And there it is. Isaac Salas gets the win. He parks it in Brian Clausen, victory lane. And what a race that was in tonight's feature event. Let's take a look at those official results. Isaac Salas gets the win from Samuel Backman in second, Trevor Garreau third, fourth will be Jeffrey Barker, Trent Verstraeten comes home in fifth position, John Hayne in sixth, Jeff Sharp in seventh, Dylan Kinsey in eighth, Anthony Morano ninth, Logan Wentz makes up your top 10. We flip the script and go over to the final 8 finishes from 11th through to 19th. Final 9 finishes Scott Rayomi in 11th, Jason Butterfield 12th, Kelly Wheeler in 13th, 14th was Randall Dixon, Dan McLaren 15th, 16th was Matt Schaefer, Michael Vitale in 17th, Jake Henry in 18th, and the last car on the lead lap. Of course, we've seen Michael Vecchio pull the 007 infield with just 3 laps left to run. He'll come home with a 19th place finish. Boy, the big block modifieds and the 350A modifieds putting on an absolute clinic here tonight at the Kokomo Speedway. We'll chat to Trevor Garreau, who comes home in position number 3. Trevor, congratulations on yet another podium. This time you do it in the big block modifieds. And I'm going to say, again, you challenge those boys up for the race lead, but just look like you are just lacking that exit speed off turn number 4.
Sorry, Brad, what did you say? You were cutting out there a little bit.
Oh, it's doing it again, is it? Hang on. I was just going to say, mate, you are... hang on. 1 second. Let me just lower the sensitivity. I don't know why this is doing this lately, but got me now. Okay, all clear.
Yeah,
just
it's a little better for sure.
Yeah. Hey, oh, there we go. 1 second. Nope. We're gonna go with that. That should be better. I've had had enough of this other microphone. It's always a pain in the backside. But hey, another podium here tonight. You just looked at a little bit sort of slowish and sluggish off the exit of turn number 4.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like as the run went on, I just I felt like the line, because it kind of wasn't in my favor. It was a little slick, especially if you missed the bottom. You were really just all rear tires in the slick, and then you'd really lose a lot of time. But coming up I think it was 4. There's a big hump coming out of 4 there on the bottom, so you kind of had to avoid it in order to get a good run. But if you hit it, then it would just upset the car a lot, and then you'd lose a lot of ground. And I think I got by Samuel there for a little bit, and then them guys were just way faster. I mean, I was trying to make the bottom work, and it just kept getting thinner and thinner, and then I hit the tire and got a little bit of wheel damage. And I don't know if that affected the car at all. It felt fine, but we'll definitely take another podium.
Any stage during that race did you think about going to the top side, knowing that those guys on the top side were making it work, or were you just sort of comfortable working it down to the inside, just trying something different to get by and get into the race lead?
Honestly, no, I wasn't even thinking about the top at all or any other line, just because I knew it's the same for the bottom. If you made one little mistake, you're hitting the tire. If you make one little mistake on the top, you're hitting the wall. But I would probably rather hit the tire than I would the wall, because I'm kind of notorious for that. I'll just send it in a little too hard, backing into the wall, ruin my own race. But yeah, I didn't really think about the top at all. It was a little too slick for my liking. Them guys are better wheelmen than I am. They were able to make it work, and I kind of thought about the middle a little bit once we started separating ourselves from the field there. I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot, but I would inch closer and closer, and then I was like, oh, I'll just stay to the bottom. And then there was like 5 laps left or something, and I was like, whatever, I'll just settle for a third place and stay at the bottom. And yeah, I'll take it for sure.
Settle for a third, settle for another podium, a win in the 358, to now a third place in the big block modified. Trevor, congratulations on this podium run here tonight. Before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 075 car one more time.
Yeah, I just want to thank the usual. I mean, Dean Reynolds for coming on board with the Super Dirt Car Series. Big ups to him. And my graphics guy, I forgot to shout him out in the last one, 42 Graphics. He makes some awesome cars. And my teammate Trent on another really good run. And my buddy Caleb, you for doing the broadcast. You're always awesome to listen to there I always rewatch it, and it's fun to hear you call these races. So thank you, and thanks to everybody at C2C for putting this stuff on.
Trevor Garreau, ladies and gentlemen, home in position number 3. He capped off a night with a win in the 358 modifieds and now caps it off with a third place in the big block modifieds. Home in second place tonight, probably one that got away from him in the end, but I tell you what, I'm sure this man is going to be very happy with the second place finish. Samuel Backman. Sam, mate, second place here tonight. I mean, nothing to hang your head about. You finish up behind Isaac Salas, but probably one little mistake that sort of cost you there at the end, but I mean, still a good run for you in the 7 car.
Yeah, it's just nearly impossible to beat Isaac and to fix that up. But I mean, I'll take a second place. I had a feeling I could hold him off, but for the whole race, but he obviously ended up getting by me with like 10 to go, and I mean, he's just a little bit quicker. And I looked in my mirror and I seen Trevor coming on the bottom. I was like, wow, that bottom's really sticking for him down there. And I was like, I better get going, hopefully, because hopefully he didn't get me, but ended up coming home with the second. I'll take it.
I think it took you like a couple of laps to get to the top. So was the plan always to be that, you know, once you sort of were able to get clear of the field, was the game plan to get up to the top side and utilize that outside of the racetrack, or was that just sort of, you know, you take it lap by lap and just sort of see what happens throughout the course of the night?
Yeah, I'd take it lap by lap. I took right off the rip. I went on in the bottom and I tried that for a couple laps, and Jeff got by me and I went up top and went to go try that, and it was sticking real good, so I just ran with that the rest of the race.
Like, what did you have to do differently to beat that number 5 car here tonight? Because, you know, all throughout the course of that 30-lap main event yourself, Isaac, Trevor, you guys sort of put on one hell of a show. You guys pretty much got 95% of coverage here on this main event.
Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, I guess just me getting better. I mean, he's just too good, to be honest.
Sammy, well done on the second place finish here tonight. Before we let you go, we'll let you think of it involved in the 7 car.
Yeah, the boys over at FTM, Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Gunner with Swan Speed Shop, Expert Installation, and you guys at Coast to Coast and Ultimate Dirt Series for putting this on.
Sammy, well done on second place finish. We look forward to seeing you back next week. Good luck for the rest of the night.
Thank you.
Samuel Backman home in second place. Samuel getting the win here tonight in the 5 car. It is Isaac Salas. Isaac, congratulations on this victory here tonight, boy. You really were made to earn that one after the 358 modifieds didn't go your way. You come back with a vengeance, and you come back with another win. Salsa time, baby. How's this one feel?
Yeah, buddy. This salsa time was really needed. If you couldn't tell. Took a little hiatus last week, trying to get moved all over to the apartment. So, yeah, to come back and have just a miserable 358, I was like, oh, man, this is going to be how my night goes, ready? And then to come back and win this big block was something special.
You go quick time in both races. The invert obviously put you on the outside of the second row in the opening heat race of the night. Then, of course, you go back to the 358, so things didn't go your way in the main event. But when you come back here and, you know, you come back with, take this as a pun if you like, you come back with venom in the blood. You really wanted to get the job done here tonight. Was that correct?
Oh, big time, man. I felt like I had something in the 358 race so just to make some mistakes and then in those initial laps and to get involved in that wreck. Really put a fire underneath the chair that I'm in to get up here and try to do something.
Those first 15, 20 laps, you battle with Sammy, you battle with Trevor, you're just unable just to get clear, and a number of times you tried the slider. I think with about 7 or 8 to go, you finally put the slider and you cleared him, and then you went into turn number 3 and he was to the middle of the racetrack, then you went round the outside. Was that the moment of the race that you knew that it was going to be pretty much as long as you don't make that mistake, as long as you don't fence yourself like you did with 3 to 4 laps to go, that, you know, you're going to be able to hold on to a race win?
Yeah, I mean, you try to set up a guy throughout the race and try to take the chances that you get, and finally with like that 7-8 to go, I got near him and finally got into a slider battle with him, and he slid me in 3 and 4 and just went just a little bit too far, and I kind of saw it coming and got to turn underneath him. And from there, it was like, all right, let's not make any mistakes. But then I remember that Trevor was still just absolutely pounding the bottom, and decided that I wanted to tear the wall down with like 4 to go or 3 to go. So that was pretty cool.
Isaac, buddy, congratulations on the victory here tonight. The Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds here on this Gambler Motorsports and Thursday Night Thunder. Before we let you go, we'll let you celebrate. We'll let you thank everybody involved on this 5K one final time.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to all those guys over at Venom Racing. Dean, the Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, Got Your Six Racing Network, RSN Trackside, Mission 22, everything they do for our veterans. My Gramps, Top Notch Trucking, thanks to you for the amazing broadcast every week, man. It's always fun to go back and watch them. And then thanks to my friends, my family, thanks to my girlfriend for watching. And yeah, I think that's about it.
There we go, Isaac Salas with some salsa time, baby, here at the Kokomo Speedway. Well, the RSN Trackside 358 Modifieds, the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds are done here on Ultimate Dirt TV. Still plenty of action still to come here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We'll bring in Travis Pearsfield. Travis, Pro Late Models to the Kokomo Raceway, and then the NASCAR Xfinity cars at Richmond, I believe it was. I seen earlier on. Yes, it is Richmond. Doubleheader for you. How do you feel with the Pro Late Models and then taking the NASCAR Xfinity cars to Richmond?
Feeling good as always. We'll have those late models here at Kokomo. They're out there doing hot laps right now. And then as you mentioned, going to Richmond, we move away from the road course of Kansas from a couple weeks ago to the Oval in Richmond, Virginia. So it should be a good ending to tonight's Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder.
Well, we look forward to having your company here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. But for now, on Ultimate Dirt TV side of things, we are going to sign off and say good night. But still plenty of action still to come here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. You're watching the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's one of the best tracks in the Coast to Coast Racing League, and it's showtime in Volusia. else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's one of the best tracks in the Coast to Coast Racing League, and it's showtime in Volusia.
Welcome to Kokomo Speedway as Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder continues here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I am Travis Pearsall with Extreme eSpeed TV, joined tonight as usual here on Thursday night with John Hine. And John, you're out there on the track, or you've been out there on the track with these late models here at Kokomo.
Yeah, I have. I was just going in to get a fresh ride, kind of bang the wall down there a little bit. But yeah, I've been out here at Kokomo all night. We ran the big blocks, and now we're in these late models. And I tell you, this track has held up pretty good. And I think you're going to see multi-groove racing tonight. I think the bottom I saw in that big block race, some guys made the bottom work. Some guys are up top here running around the boards and making that work too. So look forward to seeing what guys do, different strategies play out, and may the best guy win here.
Of course, the Tim Chapman Racing pre-race show now. We'll move on to those Sim Racer Hub standings coming in tonight for the Pro Late Models. And it's Trevor Giroux, Isaac Salas atop the charts. A couple guys that have really dominated on Thursday nights here. Anthony Morano in third. John, you're sitting in fourth with Brandon Templeton right now in the fifth position when it comes to those point standings.
Yeah, and keep in mind we have drop weeks here coming up too. I know I missed a couple of races. I think Brandon missed a couple of races too. So those points will get jumbled up at the end of the season when those races fall off.
So looking, it's Trevor Verstraeten, the fastest here in hot laps at Kokomo. Isaac Salas second, Zach Chapman third, McLaren fourth, Trevor Giroux in fifth. As right now 9 cars set to take on this Kokomo Speedway for the final dirt portion of our Thursday Night Thunder tonight. And then, of course, John, we have Richmond Raceway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series coming up next after this dirt portion wraps up.
Yeah, continue the short track theme tonight in those Xfinity cars. It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Should be a change from the Kansas road course we called a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Which I believe that was about 60 laps of green flag action on a very technical course.
Yes.
So John, we in the real world here we've got racing. We had the Coliseum last weekend, and then of course Dirt Nationals down in Florida this week.
Yeah, did you see Turbo's fire suit?
No, I didn't.
Oh, everybody out there listening, you gotta go Google it. Look up the fire suit from Turbo there, and he it's just a prison outfit, but it's absolutely hilarious to see it. It's an old school prison outfit.
Nice. Yeah, racing is almost completely back.
I know, and the St. Louis guys are up there mopping up. I saw Schrader get a win. Kenny Wallace got a win last night. So tip of the hat to those Midwest guys, those old guys.
I know. I saw Kenny had a gator last night. That's always cool. Some good racers out of the old Show Me State.
Absolutely.
Well, Hot Laps here continues. All 9 guys have been out onto the track. Of course, Isaac Salas has been the dominant one of Thursday Night Thunder, what seems like the last couple seasons. It's continued here again tonight as he just picked up that big block victory. See what he can do in the Pro Late Model here tonight.
Yeah, this car's a little bit of a change. These guys are the guys that ran the big block anyway. Are probably having to make a big adjustment here. Car that just pushes like a dump truck compared to that modified.
We see Verstraeten here down to the inside. He's making his way around. Where do you see the line being here tonight if you're going to try to have to get up there and make a move for the lead?
You're going to have to pass them where they're not. If you got a guy running the bottom, you're going to have to go up top and try to make it work. If the guy's up top, you're going to have to go on the bottom and make it work. Different guys have different styles of driving, and this what makes racing this track so entertaining. Guys that have the patience to kind of back the corner up, roll the center, can really get around the bottom of the track really good. Guys that have more of a lead foot maybe, or a little bit better car control, they can get right up on the wall and run the wall and really get momentum to carry around this track. So I think it's going to be driver specific. Where is the place to be?
Well, seeing there's 2 distinct lines. You're either down there around the tires or you're up there in that upper third of the track.
Yeah, but don't sleep on that middle. You know, when this track kind of gets burned in a little bit more, and that middle becomes an option for guys if they want to try it, especially in 3 and 4.
See Michael Vitale out there now as well. Trent Verstraeten and John, you have both made over 54 laps here. Michael Vitale as well. He actually leads the group. He just completed his 62nd lap of Hot Laps here.
Yeah, I'm about to run out of fuel. I've been out here for so long. Actually surprised Race Control hasn't kicked this bad boy off.
That's what I was looking at as well. See the cars lined up there on the inside of the track as Michael Vitale will run a few more laps out there as he prepares for this Pro Late Model division from Kokomo.
Yeah, I gotta give this old Bass Pro Shops car a few more laps too. Why not?
Looking at the field, most likely we'll have 2 heat races. That will be the Flatline Racing Bodies heat race number 1 and the RSN Trackside heat race number 2. Of course, qualifying will help set those lineups for the heat races.
All right, running that bottom. Well, the guys that are good at running down here are going to be really good tonight. This that bottom may be the way to be. If I feel a little quick down here, good Lord, guys that know what they're doing down here probably be really fast.
It's also Super Bowl week.
Yes. Who do you got? Who do you like?
I'm going for the Niners just because I can't stand the Chiefs, but also they beat my Lions, so I don't feel completely good about that. Can they just both lose in the Super Bowl?
Well, all I care about is a good game. So, you know, I would like to see. Wouldn't that be a great story, though? Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy bagging a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, I just think of all the stuff they put that pick through with the parade and the jersey and all that. And for it to actually play out where he could be, he could end up being a Super Bowl MVP.
He could. Well, NFL honors are tonight. Hell, he could be a league MVP for all I know. I'm out here driving.
So watching cars.
I'm sure Lamar's going to get it, but I mean, he is one of the finalists.
No, definitely. But yeah, we'll see. I saw the new logo came out for next year's Super Bowl, and it's got some Honolulu blue in it, so I am all for the NFL storylines. Yep.
Yeah, here we go.
I believe it looked like a Lions-Dolphins matchup next year.
Well, I'll tell you, the Lions got lucky getting that offensive coordinator back into the, he was on his way to Washington.
Yeah, we kept him and our defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And
most of your players, I don't think you got hardly any free agents up there, so you guys are going to be in good shape, but you're going to have a much harder schedule.
Yeah, we'll have that first place schedule next year.
Yep.
So you don't claim Kansas City Chiefs as your team?
No, I'm a free agent currently after the Cowboys choked again and after 40 years. I'm going to spend this offseason and figure out who I can root for. I got a lot of family in Michigan that have told me to come home.
If you're going to at any point, this is the best time to do that. I feel like you also have to have the Cardinals and the Rams in consideration.
Yeah.
Bust out an old St. Louis Cardinals crew neck.
Yep. Well, we're going to burn this track up if we don't get going out here, so... but, Travis, you get this big-time pre-race stuff. We talk more racing, though. The NASCAR season just started, and the OEMs all have... I guess we'll see them here coming up in iRacing. This is how up-to-date iRacing is. We're going to see the new OEMs, the front ends of those Toyotas and Fords, I believe.
Yeah, I saw the Fords had a big presentation for theirs. Well, as we go into Daytona a week from this weekend, who's your pick from the NASCAR Cup Series for this year?
Win the 500 or
yeah, let's start 500. Who's your 500 champion this year?
Boy, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Hamlin.
I always feel like that's the best odds, but it's the one that I probably don't want the most. You know what? I am gonna go Brad Keselowski.
Brad K, wouldn't that be something?
They've ran really well, and normally it's been him pushing Buescher lately. And I feel like maybe it's a Michigan guy that gets it this year.
Yeah, but Brad thinks a lot behind the wheel, and that's a high speed game of chess there at Daytona. So that's actually a good pick. That's one that'd be pretty neat to see that with everything that's going on there, and his I guess start a comeback. I guess lock him in the playoffs, the whole 9 yards. What an advantage that's got to be at, knowing you're in the playoffs one race into the season. I think for season championship though, way too early prediction. I just got a feeling. I think William Byron's gonna come of age this season. That's who I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Byron.
I like it. I always get nervous because they make like the body changes and different things like that. And normally a manufacturer that maybe struggled last year all of a sudden comes out the gate a lot better than they were. So I haven't thought of this much yet. I like the Willie B pick. You know what? I'm just gonna go with Kyle Larson. I think he rebounds from last year, which is obviously a pretty decent down year for anybody. But I just see.
Speaking of Larson, all right, we got a lot of Larson fans. I know he's a dirt guy, so I know we're talking NASCAR. top 5, top 10 at Indy, or what's the over/under there? Do you think go over/under 10th place at Indy?
I'll go under.
Wow, Kurt Busch did it.
I know.
7th?
Yeah, I'm thinking like a 7th, 8th, 9th place finish. We'll see. I saw he was testing at Phoenix. I think if it wasn't yesterday, it was this week. Yeah.
And he was saying he was uncomfortable, and I'm not sure what it takes for Kyle to be uncomfortable in a car, but damn, I'd like to see that footage.
I'll tell you what, just thinking about doing what they do at Indianapolis, that is a crazy person in that cockpit.
Well, Indy's not that big of a deal, but speed-wise, because it's big, it's wide, it's open, long, straight. And I saw an interview of him yesterday at Phoenix. He was rolling into those corners at Phoenix 180, 190 mile an hour. That is insane.
So I worked at Phoenix when they brought IndyCar back there back in the mid 2010s, and I was at the first practice session. They actually came out and practiced before they announced they were coming back. And after just seeing NASCAR on it, it was very, very easy to see the difference of speed between the two cars.
Oh, I imagine so. It would be very interesting to watch those guys corner those tracks.
So I was there, I think, for 2 IndyCar races. My brother was there for 3 or 4, and he actually got to ride along with in the 2-seater.
Oh, nice. What do you think of that?
He thought it was as crazy as you think it would be. I think I've told you before, the hardest part about being on a track like that is if you're not driving, not having control while going so fast is the worst feeling.
Hell, I don't like having control going 35 miles an hour down the road when somebody else is driving a street car, so I totally get that. But man, I tell you, a lot of exciting stuff coming this year. I mean, both in the real world and iRacing. iRacing is bringing back the Indy 500, so we'll have that. I'm sure you see a lot of C2C guys sign up and race that, so it'll be neat to see those posts. I'm going to make a prediction. I don't think they can squeeze it in the schedule, but I'm going to bet before the year's out, they're going to bring back Le Mans. So, that's a prediction.
And you'll be there. You'll make room for it.
Well, I'm not in charge of scheduling, but, that Motorsports Games or whoever, now they're talking about soft openings, releasing games in beta and not doing the whole thing. So, they're hemorrhaging money and putting out an iffy game. Bad business decision, I think, in the line of bad business decisions. But, like I said, a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pike here. C2C does their charity events. We look forward to those every year. It's pretty good. I think the guys in the league have actually improved. Even coming out here now, a lot of these guys are night and day better than what they were 6 months, a year ago, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see the same core group of guys racing each other. It's you would think being on the same track this long together, we just run out here and do demolition derbies every night, but good group of guys. It's good to see that, and a lot of stuff to look forward to. And you know what, Travis? We can look forward to going racing. I just see.
I see that flag waving.
Flag, yeah.
I was going to throw in there, racing's you got to think, in a decent spot right now. You got the new High Limit Racing series, which should be exciting.
Yeah, a lot of money for the sprint car guys. And the only thing I hate about it is it's done the same thing that Open Wheel did back in the 90s. It split the field. You got half those guys going to a high limit, and half the guys staying at World of Outlaws. And man, I hate to see that.
I actually I got some information on that last night. I'll pass along to you about that. I think the next couple of years are going to be interesting to see what happens with those two series.
Yes. We might as well go out here and qualify. I mean, Guess that's what's now, right?
Yeah, and it's Dan McLaren at the top of the charts here early. Isaac Salas second fastest. And as soon as I say that, Isaac jumps to the top of the charts. See Samuel Bachman out there as well. In his 007, he'll shoot up to second fastest. John Hine out there making his first lap along with Trevor Giroux. Trevor, of course, picked up his first series victory about 3 weeks ago now. Zach Chapman's out there now as well. He'll be the last one to turn in a time up to the 7th fastest.
Sure hopes he knocks me down. Fourth place is gonna put me in a third starting spot, and that's definitely not where I want to be in the heat. And yeah, he did. All right.
So you'll end up 5th fastest. Anthony Morano will end up your quick time here at Kokomo. And just like that, we'll move into our heat races, starting with that Flatline Racing Bodies heat race number 1.
Oh, heck, I thought I would move up. That's not bad. Starting outside the front row.
Well, yeah, that starting lineup for heat race number 1, it's going to be Dan McLaren on the pole, next to John Hine, our in-race reporter. Isaac Salas third, alongside Anthony Morano. And 5th will be Trevor Giroux. You've got 3 fast cars lining up behind you there, John.
Thanks for letting me know.
Just keeping you in the loop.
Yeah. You're in a lap when we go green. I'm going to be ready.
As we get ready to go green. Green flag waves, and we're back to racing action. So Trevor Giroux out front, John Hine in the 2nd spot to the outside. In the middle is Dan McLaren. 3 wide up front, you've got Isaac Salas riding in 4th. John Hine using that outside line, trying to get up alongside Trevor Giroux. As it looks like we may have lost John and the sound from the track here momentarily. Giroux to the inside. Still, as they're side by side, that inside line holding on tough as John has that outside momentum, unable to clear Giroux as that white flag will wave.
We're going green right off the bat.
And it will be Trevor Giroux just edging out John Hine. It's going to be Morano 3rd, Salas 4th, McLaren in 5th. And then we will move on to heat race number 2, presented by RSN Trackside. The starting lineup looking like this.
I would finish 2nd there.
So it's going to be Michael Vitale, Samuel Bachman, Zach Chapman, and Trevor Verstraeten in your starting lineup. John, are you there? You got a copy?
I do.
All right. Sound glitched out there for a moment.
Yeah, it rolled 2nd there, and I laid up in that final corner. I didn't realize that's someone on the inside of me. Gave that one away.
Yeah, great race between you and Trevor up front there. But we're going to get back to racing action here, our 2nd heat race of the Pro Late Model Division. Green flag waves. So out front it's Vitali. He's got Zach Chapman in second, Verstraeten in third. Bachman going back and forth for that third position.
Good battle for the lead. Zach's trying to get his nose in there, but Vitali's really using momentum on the corner exit to stay out front.
Yeah, Zach all the way down there. His left side's in the grass. As Vitali's finally able to break free. Still trading third between Verstraeten and Bachman back and forth. White flag will wave. It's Vitali up front. Coming around for the final time out of turn number 4. It will be Vitali. Chapman second, Bachman third, Verstraeten in fourth. And just like that, John, we will head to that warm-up break and the intermission presented by Us Weekend Speedway. And John, 2 quick heat races there. Is there anything you can take from those into this 30-lap feature?
Yeah, just exactly what I said about, the lane is going to be driver preference, and they're both going to work.
As you see cars back out there inside line. It was interesting, especially yours with Trevor. Trevor was able to use that inside line, and it was pretty even with you out there on the outside using that momentum.
Yeah, and then the last lap, I thought I was pretty well cleared. I was just trying to get a decent, easy lap, not push anything, and that, I think it got me. But I think I just set the quick lap so far in this thing, up here rim riding right out up here against the wall.
Got Isaac Salas right in your tracks. Zach Chapman also with a fast lap here in hot laps. As we get ready for tonight's 30-lap feature event here for the Pro Late Model Division. See Verstraeten out there on the track as well in that 88 machine. Isaac Salas now down around the inside. And with 9 cars, John, should have plenty of space out there on the track to make moves.
Oh, don't underestimate our ability to run into each other.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. Anthony Morano out there on the track. He's currently 7th fastest here in this intermission session. Dan McLaren out there. He'll surely be somebody to watch at Richmond tonight. If I remember correctly, I think last winter or spring we did a Richmond race that he either won or almost won.
That's asphalt. He probably won. He's really good out there on asphalt. He's not too bad on dirt either, but he's good on asphalt.
Yeah, I want to think that it came down to either fuel mileage or pit strategy, which is what we normally see when we go to the asphalt. Now, it looks like our session here for intermission is finishing up. We're going to move on to that 30-lap feature event here for the Pro Late Model Division. As we've got your starting lineup. Of course, your starting lineup, as always, presented by Top Notch Trucking. They're going to line up like this. It's Trevor Giroux alongside Michael Vitali in row number 1. Our in-race reporter John Hine in third alongside Zach Chapman. 5th will be Anthony Morano alongside Samuel Bachman. Isaac Salas will start 7th alongside Trent Verstraeten. And rounding out the 9-car field will be Dan McLaren. So John, you're going to start there in that second row to get us started.
Yeah, we'll see what we got here. It grows pretty quick.
So 30 laps will make up this feature event. Green flag waves, and we're underway here from Kokomo. Giroux will jump out front here early. Hine to the inside of Vitale in that second spot. As now Anthony Morano will look to the inside of that 213. And even lower will be Isaac Salas. They're 3 wide. Isaac Salas quickly moving up into the top 4. And now into third as Giroux up front down to the inside. John Hine continues to use that outside line. Isaac Salas has used all the way down to the grass to quickly move up into the top 3. Back in the pack, some tight racing as well. You got Anthony Morano, Zach Chapman, and Trent Verstraeten back here, almost 3 wide through the corner. Up front, Isaac Salas and John Hine continue to trade that second place position. As out front, it's that 75 of Trevor Giroux. He has to love seeing the side-by-side action behind him as he's moved now to the middle of the corner. And finally, Isaac Salas clears John Hine for the second spot. John will try to cross it over here down the front stretch into turn number 1, up in front of Salas. Salas will move to the inside, cross over there. Now John Hine's under attack from Zach Chapman and Michael Vitale. While this action's been happening behind him, Trevor Giroux jumped out to almost a 2-second lead. As we have a hornet's nest here in the middle of the pack. Chapman trying to use that inside line on John Hine. Behind him, it's 3 wide. Vitale, Morano, and Verstraeten. As we are 10 laps down, 20 laps to go here at Kokomo. Oh, Verstraeten will get into that tire at 3. That will bring out the caution. So our first caution of the night will come out. And John, watching you, a good battle there you had with Salas before he got by you for that second position. You've been running up top. What's it going to take to have a move for those 2 in front of you?
I think laps in that bottom to roll out. I parked it on Salas's nose there when he got. Luckily, we didn't wreck there, but I went into that corner, and that's something you got to be careful, I guess. Here, I went in. I was going to run the middle, and that car just shot straight up to the top. So. I think you're right. What you were saying earlier, Giroux was running the middle a little bit, but top or bottom, I think it's going to end up being the way to go here.
Well, we're going to get them lined back up, ready to go. Up front, it's Trevor Giroux, Isaac Salas. John Hine will line up in row number 2 alongside Zachary Chapman.
That's a lot of work just to be in the same spot you started in.
Exactly, especially when they're coming up through there. You had Isaac Salas making his way up, Anthony Morano. The 3-car battle for the 5th position was entertaining there those first 11 laps as well. And green flag waves. Trevor Giroux takes us back to green. Isaac Salas down to the inside through 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, Isaac will slide up. Oh, and around goes John Hine and Zach Chapman, and that will bring out the caution. And there is that Stephen King Foundation pace car, and we'll line them back up. So we'll get them lined back up.
I'm not sure what happened there, but like I told you earlier, don't underestimate our ability to run into each other.
It looked like a tandem rotation there through turn 3 for you both. So the front two line back up. It's still Isaac Salas, Trevor Giroux. As we have 17 laps to go here in the Pro Late Model Division feature event. Green flag waves. Trevor Giroux single file restart here. As we've got 17 laps to go in this 30 lap feature event. Giroux holds off Isaac Salas here with the single file restart. Salas now using that outside line, trying to make his way up towards the front and put himself in a spot for the lead here, and he'll try it here in this corner. Giroux will cross him back over and be able to clear and hold that lead. As they continue to trade it back and forth. Behind them, it is Vitali and Morano in third and fourth. John Hines made his way back up now into the top 5 as well. Great battle for the lead as it's Isaac Salas, Trevor Giroux. 12 laps to go here at Kokomo. Trevor Giroux holding off Salas here up until this point. He'll separate there down the 10 laps to go now. It's still Trevor Giroux out front. Michael Vitali in third. They will sandwich Isaac Salas. Here at this point, Isaac Salas is our hard charger, up 5 spots from 7th to 2nd. Looks like Salas Giroux side by side through 3 and 4. Salas is able to get the lead and hold on to it. As Giroux was down to the inside, couldn't get the angle he needed there, as now he's trying to battle back, get up to that 5, and make a move for the lead. Just 7 laps to go. Giroux closes that gap ever so slightly this last lap by. Trying to set up a move on Isaac Salas up ahead. It's going to be 5 laps to go this time by. Salas all the way down to the tires there in 1 and 2. Giroux up the track. Coming to 3 laps to go. You've got 3 groups of cars. It's Salas, Giroux, then you have Vitali, Morano, Hine, and then Bachman, Chapman at the back of the field. 2 laps to go for Isaac Salas. Giroux will make a little move to the inside. There's slight contact there. Isaac will be able to hold on. White flag will wave. Giroux's going to have one last attempt at the lead and the win. He'll go high. Salas down to the inside. It's going to be Salas at the line. Giroux second. Morano third. John Hine fourth. Michael Vitali rounds out your top 5. Well, John, you end up rebounding for a 4th place finish.
Yeah, it's tough when 2 guys race side by side in front of you. Doesn't really leave you anywhere to go, but we'll take it. Take the points and get out of here.
So the 3 podium drivers will join us up next here in the booth. As it will be Trevor Giroux, Anthony Morano, and Isaac Salas. Looks like we've got...
And Travis, will you take care of the interviews for me, will you?
Yeah, of course. As
awesome.
our second place finisher, Trevor Giroux. Trevor, you're out there in the lead for a majority of that race. Held off Isaac and then just too much there at the end. Kind of walk us through that battle there at the end for the victory.
Yeah, it was a great battle. I mean, that's what racing's all about. When you can race clean like that, and you know you can block a slider line, and you know you're not going to get doored or anything like that. That's what this is all about. And props to Isaac. I mean, he was fast. I mean, he always is, right? So, I mean, what can you do, right? I mean, like, I led, I don't know, maybe 12 laps or 15 laps or something like that, and the caution came out, and I think I had almost a 2-second lead there. So I didn't want to see that caution, but that battle at the end made it all worth it. That was probably some of the most fun I've had on this sim. So.
When you look back at that battle, either in bed tonight or tomorrow, is there anything you would have done differently that you think could have made you finish one spot better?
I can't think of anything right now, but after I go watch the broadcast, I'm probably gonna think of something. If there's anything I would change, I probably would have been smoother in 1 and 2, I think it was, running the top. I kept getting into the wall there a little bit, and then I'd come down to the middle in 3 and 4. That was just my line I thought was fastest. But yeah, I'd probably, I don't know, maybe try running the very bottom there like I did in the heat. I just didn't trust it for anything to be down there, but yeah, maybe try a couple different things. After I saw we had a decent gap on third, so maybe didn't have too much to lose, and if it worked, great. If it didn't, right, then at least I'd keep second. So yeah, maybe fish around a little bit and see what would have worked and what wouldn't have.
Well, a great run for you here in the late model again. Come home second tonight. Any sponsors or anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my rap guy, 42 Graphics, for these killer cars, and Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series for coming on board. Everybody at C2C for putting this on. My buddy Trent, my teammate Trent. I think he had a rough race there, but shout out to him, and my buddy Caleb was all watching at home, and shout out to you guys, you and John, for doing the broadcast every week. It's fun going back and rewatching the broadcast with you guys up in the booth. So thank you.
Well, great run, Trevor. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
That's Trevor Giroux, our second place finisher tonight. Now joining us is the third place finisher, Anthony Morano. Anthony, you were in a great battle there with John Hine and Vitali there at the end. Walk us through your race and getting to that third spot tonight.
It was a whole lot of hoping and praying there. My VR wasn't working so good tonight, so I was running on a single monitor. It was probably slowing John up a little bit, and it wasn't part of the intention, but I know it's the fastest way around, and I was catching up to Mikey, so just had to do what I had to do to try to get some points and not fall back too far behind. And, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, I guess.
As the track progressed tonight, there were some long green flag runs there. We had a couple cautions there in the middle. Did it change as you expected, and as it changed, did it play to your advantage, or you know, we saw the three of you there, 3 wide at times, or getting stuck behind each other, losing that momentum. How did the track play out tonight for you?
It definitely slickened up a bit. It wasn't anything too crazy, which was pretty good in my book. I mean, I like having a little bit of grip here and there, but I'm not really all that good with these cars. Don't know much about them, so I mean, I'll definitely take third, and maybe next week we'll go to someplace that's got a little more shine to it and really be able to move around. So we'll see how it goes. I think next week we're at Williams Grove, so I think I've ran there once in these cars, so it should be fun.
Well, it was a great run for you tonight. Come away with a podium. Any sponsors or anybody you'd love to give a shout out to?
Thank my wife Sherry, my teammates at Full Throttle Motorsports, Super Dirt Car, Hi Mom Lens, DJ Sim Shop, GripHack.com, Swan Speed, you for doing the broadcast, and Roger and everyone at Coast to Coast.
Well, that is our third place finisher tonight, Anthony Morano, and now joining us from Victory Lane, it is Isaac Salas. Isaac, we watched you come up through the field early and then kind of settle into the top 3 there before making a move towards the front. Walk us through your night and what your strategy was to try to pick up another victory.
Yeah, it was the bottom was really good for me for a while there. And then that caution came out luckily, and I knew that I could at least battle with Trevor. And be something. It'd be something where we could actually battle. But yeah, I mean, after that, we kind of had I tried to throw a slider and I knew I wasn't gonna clear, but then I started pushing and I was like, oh, this ain't good. But luckily, he noticed that I was kind of pushing. So he kind of got on the binders for me. Thank the Lord, or else we probably both would have been in the back. But yeah, man, after that, I was just kind of trying to juke him out and run different lines and make sure I wasn't gonna wreck us both. So that was kind of the game plan.
We saw one of the moves to get to the lead. He tried to go to your inside, and you stayed low and ended up pinching him and kind of ruining his momentum. When you're out there racing someone, having that trust and being able to make those types of moves, how does that change your just mentality while you're out there on the track?
Well, like you said, when you have a lot more trust for the guy, you don't really get too nervous when he's right on your door or anything like that, or if he's gonna make a move. You kind of just you kind of run your line, and if he gets you, he gets you. I mean, I think that's the big thing is just if you trust the guy, you know it's not gonna hurt you too much. But if you don't really have too much trust in a guy, you might kind of step on it and lose yourself, and he might get the spot either way.
Well,
I'm sorry for parking it on your nose, man.
Oh, no, don't worry. I was struggling today. I couldn't get that bad boy to turn.
Yeah, I hit that slick spot and right up, and I knew I was like, "Oh dear God, I'm gonna be parked."
Dude, I know that's literally how I felt. Like, would that be 1 and 2? I want to say 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh my goodness gracious, this thing is pushing like a dump truck." Like I got nervous. I actually got nervous.
Yeah, well, thanks for understanding.
No, I appreciate it. I know exactly how it feels.
Well, at the end of the night, you end up back in victory lane here with the Pro Late Model. Who are those sponsors and who are those people you want to give a shout out to, Isaac?
Yeah, big shout out to Venom Racing, Super Air Car Series with Dino, Magnum Race Designs, Guy 6 Racing Network, RSN Trackside, Mission 22, my Gramps and Top Notch Trucking. I know he's watching tonight, so hi Gramps. And then yeah, thank you guys for the broadcast. It's always fun. Like I said, it's always fun to come back and listen to your guys' broadcast too. I love watching them usually the next day, or try to watch them the next day. And then yeah, other than that, thanks to my friends, my family, thanks to my girlfriend for watching, even though she should be working. But yeah, thank you.
Well, another great run. We look forward to seeing you at Richmond here next, Isaac.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. I think I'm doing decent in the points, so I gotta kind of be here.
Well, another great run is Isaac Salas, our winner here tonight. We of course will look forward to talking to him soon on a next Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be from Richmond for the NASCAR Xfinity division here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's one of the best tracks in the Coast to Coast Racing League, and it's showtime in Volusia. else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's one of the best tracks in the Coast to Coast Racing League, and it's showtime in Volusia.
And welcome back as we are at Richmond Raceway, ready for our NASCAR Xfinity division as we have the Tim Chapman pre-race show. Of course, our Sim Hub racer standings for this Xfinity division look like this. Atop the charts, it's Colin Johnson. No wins yet, but leads the point standings. Isaac Salas in second. He's picked up a win. Greg Parmalee third. Gary Offit fourth. And Terry Landis in the fifth spot. Zachary Chapman has a win. Donovan Ross has a win. Keith Jackson 2 wins. And Daniel Blau 1 win. So, John, we come here to Richmond Raceway.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a cool track too. I like the retro paint scheme they have on the walls here. So for people that are old like me, they're going to remember that from the old Richmond Fairgrounds days. But I tell you, right here, if you're on my car, right here is where to look for some trouble tonight, because coming out of turn 2, I have seen more guys lose the traction coming out of that corner and going around right there. So that's, I think, going to be our trouble spot here as we get going here.
So plenty of cars out there on the track. There you see Preston Kramer, Jack Clevenger just up ahead of him. Tell you what, I saw the Jack Clevenger 78 car, John, and you think of old defunct NASCAR teams. For all of a sudden, I was thinking about Furniture Row Racing again in the run they had there in the late 2010s.
Oh, yeah. Barney Visser and that bunch, the little engine that could, and not just with Martin. They got a Southern 500 one with Regan Smith, and I think Kurt Busch got him in victory lane once, didn't he?
I don't think he won for them. He raced for them for part of that one year. He was making his way back up to a top tier team. I think he's.
I couldn't remember if he. He might not have gotten. I couldn't remember.
As you see some trouble on the track. Jack Clevenger caught up in that. Jeremy Tate also out there on the track. All right, I looked it up. Kurt Busch did not.
Okay. Well, as soon as you said he did, and I didn't think he did, but I thought somebody else got them a victory though, but maybe not.
I think they did. I'm on it right now. I've got it. I've got everything going on here.
It's gonna bother you now not knowing. I know one other driver got him in there.
We've got research and everything.
Hey, you're a one-man band up there in that booth.
Well, I just figure the people want to know these things. The people probably know the answer. So, John, I know in Kansas you dropped out. Obviously, that was a very technical race course. That was going to be a struggle. What's your game plan going in here tonight?
Well, it's going to be the same as always. I'm just going to tag behind these guys, provide updates and pit strategies when windows are open and all that kind of good stuff. So just for me, going to stay out of the way here. And I guess I could bring it to pit road to figure out how big of a pit window we would have. I'll come down pit road and we'll do a pit stop here real quick. It says an estimated 50 laps right now, but I've been out here for a couple laps, so let's figure this out.
So they won the Southern 500 in 2011 with Regan Smith. Kurt had 11 top fives with him, no wins, and then Martin Truex picked up their other 17 wins as a team.
I really thought somebody else got them, but maybe not.
Including, he had 12 wins and finished first and second those last 2 years they were a team.
Yeah, they were sure fun to watch, and it was kind of fun to watch that second year Joe Gibbs Racing did not like that sister car outperforming their guys.
No, they did not. Oh, and there goes Zach Chapman. You know, thinking about Richmond, though, and how tough this track can be, obviously there's a lot of guys that had a lot of success here. I think of like Dale Jr. won a lot of races here at Richmond and ran well. But then when you think about Martin Truex and how many wins he had and how good he was, this was a track that until the last few years he had not won on, just because of how tough it is to win here.
Yeah, Gibbs has always had a good package here. Tony got his first win here. I think those Gibbs cars have always been pretty good here, and same with the Hendrick cars. But, you know, this is a track, you know, you slide around a lot, you know, so I kind of think those guys that, you know, might be good dirt racers, like a Isaac Salas, Dan McLaren, I think those two cats are going to be tough here tonight because you have to be in a rhythm to go fast around here. And like I said, you slide around a lot. A little bit of counter steer here and there. And you know those dirt guys, that's all what they're all about, is hanging everything out and going fast.
Well, when I think of Richmond, too, as a kid, it was always World 100 weekend. So I didn't watch the fall Richmond race for quite a few years because we were at Eldora while they were racing at Richmond.
You saw a better show, I promise.
Completely, yeah. Yeah, sitting through qualifying on Thursday and Friday night where you're watching cars at 3 in the morning. Ooh, a hard wreck there. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Now, I've been to the World 100 a few times, and yeah, that's quite the event there. And, you know, I've had debates with folks, though, you know, Talladega Boulevard or that grassy knoll on the across the street from Eldora. Tough one to call.
I was gonna say I don't think there's a loser in either one of those.
No, there's really not.
So plenty of cars out there on the track. Of course, tomorrow, Friday Night Lights will be at Kokomo. Next week, Coast to Coast Racing will be back as usual. Us Week in Speedway Monday Night Madness You'll have the Open 358s, the 360s, the Rebels, the Renegades from Williams Grove. On Thursday Night Thunder, the dirt portion will be at Lucas Oil, and then the Next Gen Series will go to Daytona International Speedway, as next week is Daytona week for the NASCAR Series.
Yeah, let me ask you. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the hot topics, a lot of spicy takes on what to do with the Clash. I saw Dale Jr. is in favor of bringing the Clash back to the high banks. Denny Hamlin thinks you should just get rid of it. Where do you fall?
I think I would fall in the. I'd like to see it back at Daytona just because I feel like I missed that, and especially this time of year, I feel like restrictor plate racing is always a plus, especially with just how they've changed all of Daytona. Remember, they used to go down there for like 2 weeks, and it felt like there was just racing every day.
Yeah, they had a lot of practice and everything else, and this year, they're just wheeling off and qualifying, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and like,
I mean, that's crazy.
To not be on the track for so long, and then you're just going in there when it counts. I also think that just, rotating it and going around like this year, if the weather's bad, that can kill the entire vibe. So I don't know what it becomes.
Well, I'm going to say something here, and I know I'm going to have every NASCAR fan's head explode here when I say this, but I'm going to anyway. I think it should be an international race, and I don't think it should be. I think it should maybe right after the first of the year or something. But man, how cool would that be to go somewhere that hasn't? It's got to be an oval. Don't do what they did over in Japan a few years ago, but like Rockingham or somewhere, a warmer destination, to that might have an oval. Go down to Australia. Oh, man, that would be awesome to see.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you've either got to do something like that, or honestly, just take it back to the guys that earned to get into that race. I'm all for that as well.
Yeah, but I think the appeal, from having a world stage there, that would help bring more sponsors in, some sponsors that might not be, normally with the series. I just think it would open the door. I mean, I know folks, like I said, I know that's not a popular take with fans, but there's a reason why the Formula One, man, they're printing money over there, and that's because they take that show all over the world.
Well, and maybe it wouldn't be the reaction you would think, because we've got qualifying going on right now. We'll throw those best times up over on the left. But like with Shane's success at Chicago and now him being over here racing more in the series, I always, if Marco Andretti's racing in a truck race, I always pay closer attention to that. So I'm all for injecting some new blood, especially if there's some international stars. I looked at it, John. Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney were at a Knicks game, and the Knicks people that are obviously sports fans didn't even realize that the NASCAR champion was sitting courtside.
Yeah, and but you think about it, NASCAR's already got an imprint down in South America. They've got a NASCAR Brazil series. They got NASCAR in Mexico City. Man, I could imagine that All-Star race going off of Mexico City or something like that. I think that'd be a cool thing to do. But the other take, and probably more popular, would be take it somewhere like New Smyrna. Man, take it to a short track. Keep it down in Florida. Keep it in speed weeks.
I'm all for that. Yes, that's the best. That's the best idea for me so far. And I think SRX showed...
Travis, I know marketing is your thing, but I'm very disappointed you didn't like the international angle.
No, I do. I don't think NASCAR has the testicular fortitude to make a move like that.
No, they don't. I'll agree.
So we've got Isaac Salas.
Taking it somewhere. Yeah, we got. They're qualifying, aren't they?
Well, Isaac Salas to top the charts, but no, I think the short track, and I think SRX proved that there's, Berlin was a great show. You have tracks.
Yeah, but it's got to be warm weather during this time of year. That's the catch.
John just wants to plan his off-season vacation. But no, it would have to be somewhere down south.
Well, and iRacing just put a great track. You know, if they're that hell-bent on being out in California, go to Kern County. Man, I did a race over at Kern County here in iRacing, and man, if that real-world track's anything like that, the asphalt one, oh my God, that track was a blast.
Is it Salas, McLaren, Butcher, Chapman, Donovan Ross, your top 5 here in qualifying? Colin Johnston, the last car out on the track, as he'll move up to 15th fastest. Now, there's plenty of good tracks that you could make it work and make it be unique again.
Absolutely. But I do like New Smyrna probably the best, just so you can do that whole Florida Speed Week, all the racing going on down there. You know, they run the modifieds, NASCAR modifieds out there. I mean, it just would be, what an experience that would just be to get close, for fans to get close to those cars in that kind of environment would be probably pretty spectacular.
Well, and I know you remember, but I remember back in the 90s where, you know, when they were at MIS on Friday night, you know, Ken Schrader, Michael Waltrip, Johnny Benson would end up showing up at like Merritt and being there and run some cars and sign autographs exactly.
Yep.
So this qualifying session is going to end up with Isaac Salas, who normally comes into the asphalt very soft with his comments, but then ends up running quite well. Will sit atop the charts. He should be our quick time.
I said early on, this track I think is going to suit the guys that have a lot of dirt experience, and I know this is a dirt league, but you know, the two guys I list up there were McLaren and Salas, and you know, I think they're going to be tough to beat. But I'll tell you though, so there's some sleepers I think that are going to come in here. I think Colin Johnston, he's leading the points. I think he's due for a win. Donovan Ross, I think you got to watch Devo. He's turned in a good lap time here, so this could be a track that could produce a surprise because you know it's easy to get in trouble here and things happen fast, and you know we've seen races turn on a dime here. I think we've broadcast a few here that had a very unpredictable last 10-15 laps to them.
Yes, we have, and just like that, we're going to grid up on the field. 90 laps will make up this Richmond feature event. Row number 1, of course, our starting lineup presented by Top Notch Trucking. Row number 1 is Isaac Salas alongside Dan McLaren. Jacob Butcher 3rd next to Colin Johnston. Zach Chapman 5th alongside Donovan Ross. Jack Clevenger, Tim Chapman in row number 4. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be Kyle Moonen next to Jeffrey Kemper. Starting 11th, it's Terry Landis alongside Greg Parmalee. Starting in 13th is Roland Olson alongside Gary Offit. 15th, John Rayner Jr. next to Mike Kramer. Our in-race reporter John Hine starting 17th next to Preston Kramer. And 19th will be Jeremy Tate.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to try to get out of the way pretty quick here so I can just tag the back here and watch these guys and see what kind of pit window. But sitting here, it looks like about 60 laps. I think once you get up to speed, I think about 50 laps on fuel is going to be about where you're going to want to wind up. 45 to 50 laps.
But if that's the case, you can get there in one stop.
So. Yeah, but we've been down this road before. Well, the tires last 45, 50 laps.
Well, and we see it every time. We're going to see guys that will try to use tires to their advantage, and we'll see those guys that will try to make it in 2, and they'll just hold on for it with whatever they can to try to steal a win out of here.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to look after the tires a bit. Just because, like I said, even with new tires, you're sliding around a little bit here. Overdriving the corners are really, really easy here. That's another thing that will just eat the right front tire up. So these guys are going to be busy. It'll be fun to watch.
You know, John, call us DW and Larry Mack as we talked about Isaac Salas and Dan McLaren and their asphalt skills. And here they are lined up on that front row.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's the kind of track I think is going to lend to their driving styles. But there's a lot of guys in here with dirt experience, and there's just some guys that are just good in here. So this is going to be some close racing here.
Well, the Stephen King Foundation pace car is going to pull on off. We're going to get to racing from Richmond. As the green flag waves, Isaac Salas, Dan McLaren take us to green here in the NASCAR Xfinity division. Two by two, they'll clear turns 1 and 2. As John mentioned, that exit off of turn number 2 can cause issues.
Yeah, and everybody's giving each other room right here, looking up through the field. Nobody's right down on each other's doors. They definitely took it easy. Now let's see, now we're up to speed. What happens the second time through here?
Watching, oh, and there goes Landis. He'll save it.
Shaking that drink up early.
As we're watching the battle between Donovan Ross, Jack Clevenger, and Kyle Moonen, that's a battle for the 6th position.
Guys are definitely playing nice here. A lot of great battles throughout the field. Fans here in Richmond are definitely getting a show early on.
And almost 3-wide action here with Landis, Parmalee, and Kramer, as they will get it separated by the time they enter turn number 1. And John, I think back to when Coast to Coast started some asphalt divisions, and what it has turned into is really good racing every week.
Yeah, you know, it took a little time, but, you know, these guys, it's not a surprise. I mean, they race pretty clean on dirt. They care about, and carrying what you do on track is usually about half the battle. And they've come a long way. They really, really have. You got to give credit to Roger and all the group there at C2C for having the patience to see it through. And you got a great product here that they put on here Wednesday, Thursday nights with these NASCAR races.
Yes, up front we watch Dan McLaren drive around Salas. Salas now under attack from Jacob Butcher for the 2nd position. As Donovan Ross, he's fallen down to the 8th spot. It's Kyle Moonen has now moved his way around him. And I want to say Kyle Moonen was a part of that race here last year where he was up front as well.
Yeah, Kyle's one of those guys that are just fast in everything he gets his hands on.
And right now, speaking of fast, Jack Clevenger and Kyle Moonen moving up through the field. They'll work their way around Zach Chapman as they are up 2 and 3 spots respectively here. Early in this one, our hard charger is the 07 of Preston Kramer. He's up 7 spots from his 18th starting position. As Zach Chapman continues to fall back, he's got Donovan Ross to his inside now as he'll fall back in line, headed off into turn number 3.
Yeah, I'd say some of the good is getting knocked off the tires. I see a lot of guys falling in the line, kind of giving up the ghost on some of these battles. And as the tires fall off even more, then you'll see the battles re-engage with the guys that took care of their tires as opposed to the guys that didn't.
Zach Chapman will settle in. He's able to hold off Donovan Ross, at least for now, and hold on to that 7th position. Watching Isaac Salas, you can see Dan McLaren up ahead, the gap that the leader has. And watching that 88, it just looks smooth all the way around this 3/4 mile track. How important is that, John, on these, you know, this is 90 laps here, but somebody that's able to turn 90 laps and just keep it smooth and mistake-free, how important is that versus if you do have a hiccup along the way?
It's huge. Yeah, it's less wear and tear on the car. You tend to go faster because that means that if you're that smooth, you're hitting your marks every time, all that kind of stuff. So smooth is fast. I mean, there's no two ways around it.
So 14 laps in here. green thus far. I know we're a little ways from pit stops, John, but that transition from the track into the pit area here is quite tight.
Yes. If we have green flag pit stops, somebody's going to mess it up. Probably be me, but somebody will mess it up.
So we've got separation right now. A good couple car lengths between everyone around the track. As Dan McLaren continues to rack up laps led, as lap number 15 will come to a close.
Now, when these tires start to get wore out, watch for guys to start pushing coming out of turn 2. And head that nose, push that nose right out to the wall. Then you're going to see them put a lot of wheel into it. And I think that's where your troubles are going to start to happen. They're coming out of turn 2.
So McLaren has stretched his lead to a 2.5 now. Closest battle on the track right now is Preston Kramer. He's up to the 12th spot, trying to chase down Greg Parmalee. As we ride along with Preston.
Yeah, I'm already finding that I'm having to wait longer to pick the throttle back up over there in 1 and 2 also before that nose shove. So definitely those guys he's trying to pass, that's tough. From a driver's standpoint, you're trying to pass, you're trying to attack, but you're also adjusting to stay, keep up with the track and keep up with your tires.
As out front, Dan McLaren catching the tail end of the field.
So what you're saying is I'm going to have to move over and get out of the way in a minute.
Well, Dan is, like I said, running fast laps. Not seeing you yet, but he is making up some ground.
Well, like I said, I'm just out here for recon, so not going to be too competitive. But that's a nice thing about asphalt, though. Unlike dirt, where a lot of times, you know, you just hold your line and let the leaders work around you. Here, it's a little different. You know, get up and get out of the way, and then, you know, leaders can get around you a lot easier. So definitely some differences between asphalt and dirt, you know, as far as etiquette goes. I think I'll jinx it if I say, man, I can't believe we've gone caution free.
No, I threw out a comment about staying green, so we're 24 laps in, so we're good here. We've got space between the cars, smooth laps being run. As I say that, Preston Kramer and Greg Parmalee almost make contact. And we are
still about 30 laps away from running out of fuel, so probably about 20-25 laps from pit stops.
But the racing on the track has tightened up as we work through some lap traffic. Great racing action here, as this is the 4th place on back, as behind him Jack Clevenger under attack by Zach Chapman and Kyle Moonen. As now Zach Chapman moving his way back up through the field. He's up into the 4th spot now as he goes around Butcher.
Yeah, the car is definitely getting tighter now with the wheel tires running off. So now it's about time you're going to find out who really took care of them early on, who abused them.
Well, Dan McLaren still running fast laps. He stretched out his lead as they worked through some of that lap traffic. He's got a 1.5 second lead over Isaac Salas. You can see that gap there down the backstretch. As we are 33 laps into this one, see this group of cars here still continuing to do battle. Jack Clevenger, Butcher, Tim Chapman, Jeffrey Kemper, all under a blanket right there on the exit of turn number 2. Butcher holding off Chapman. Chapman gets out of shape. That'll open the door for Donovan Ross. And we have Colin Johnson pitting from the 4th position.
Wow, that's early. Still 20 laps worth of fuel in the car. Now, he'll make up a lot of time. Now, what he doesn't want to have happen here is a caution come out.
So he'll come out. Colin Johnson running right behind McLaren.
He'll probably pass McLaren pretty easy with those new tires.
He is all over the back. They worked their way around Gary Offit.
Yeah, I'm almost to the point now where I feel like I have to get out, look both ways in the middle of the corner. That's how much I'm slowing down in the corners.
Well, working lap number 40 here, McLaren has led since he passed Isaac Salas on lap number 5. We are 5 laps away from being halfway in this one, John.
Oh, we got more in the pit lane. I saw another one.
Including Dan McLaren, Isaac Salas,
Yeah,
our
Isaac Salas.
leaders. That will give the lead over to Zach Chapman.
Oh, if they're in the pits, that's good enough for me. Oh, these cars need pit limiters.
Jacob Butchers made his way down pit road. So Zach Chapman staying out at this point. The top 11 have yet to pit. Kyle Moonen, Gary Offit will make their way down pit road along with Greg Parmalee. As that is Dan McLaren joining the picture there with our leader, so he'll get his lap back on the track. You can see he has stretched his lead over Isaac Salas, or I guess the gap between them in what would be the lead once we cycle around. So Zach Chapman will lead still here as we've got the halfway mark coming up this time by. Isaac's been on the inside of Jack Clevenger the last handful of laps. Will finally clear as he moves off into turn number 3.
Boy, the difference between having new tires and old tires really shows up in the center of the corner. I mean, it feels like there's probably a 10-15 mile an hour difference.
Well, Zach Chapman, Tim Chapman, and Jeffrey Kemper make their way. So lap number 46 will be led by Jack Clevenger now. As now he'll make his way to pit road. That will hand the lead over to Terry Landis.
The funny thing is too, Travis, you know, you spend all that time adjusting to what your car, you know, as it, you know, falls off. You go in, you get some brand new tires, and all of a sudden all the problems you had are gone, but you're still trying to drive it like you have those problems, and that, you know, guys need a lap or two to reset and realize, oh wow, my car will rotate again.
Changing car, changing track, and you can see the difference between Terry Landis, who's yet to pit. It's he and Roland Olson, the only two, and the others that have made their pit stop, and the speed and the handling that those cars have.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's actually dangerous. I mean, it's when I say that, not that they've done anything wrong, it's the closing rate can really catch somebody out if they're not paying attention.
Well, Dan McLaren's going to go by Landis and take the lead on the track, as now Landis will come down to the pits. And lap number 50 will go to Dan McLaren. And we are, just like that, cycled back around.
Now, Landis was right in front of me when before the pit stop. Be interesting to see if I made up any ground, and theoretically he should be behind me when he comes out of pits, but maybe I wasn't going fast enough.
Well, listen to this, John. Dan McLaren had about a 1.7 second lead before pit stops. He's now got a 5-second lead over Isaac Salas.
Yeah, and Landis just came out of the pit area, and I'm going to be well up the track from him. But my tires will start to wear, and you know, he's going to spend some time reeling me back in, most likely. We do have 45 laps of fuel left, so we should be good, you know, on fuel. But I will say this: if there's a late caution, now we know what a difference tires makes. You have to wonder if somebody will come in and gamble on tires.
I'm sure somebody would in this series.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, and the 303 goes around on the backstretch. Caution flag will wave. So that's Roland Olsen, lap 55. The caution flag will wave.
Now all those advantage that most guys have with those tires as far as the distance, all those gaps are going to be closed back up now.
Looks like Dan McLaren is going to come down pit road. Isaac Salas will not.
Yeah, that was yikes.
As it looks like you had a front row seat to that.
Yeah, a little bit. Almost cracked open that Busch can in front of me.
So it looks like there's 3 takers.
Now the guys that lost a lap, they're coming down pit road.
So after leading the first 4 laps of the race, Isaac Salas will take over the lead. And with our first caution, we'll have our first Mission 22 restart.
Now we're in the second half of the race. You know, pay window's not quite opening, but you can hear them rattling the money around behind it. And you know, the first lap of the race was the last time we started side by side. And, you know, guys, there was a lot of give and take those first couple laps. These guys all go barreling down here into turn 1. It'll be interesting to see if that give and take is still there.
Well, they'll get lined up 2 by 2 and ready to do just that. Isaac Salas, Kyle Moonen on that front row. Dan McLaren on the inside of row number 4. green flag waves, and we're back to racing at Richmond.
And yes, they were a lot tighter on each other's doors that time through.
Up front, they get single file very quickly, the front three. Back in the pack, though, Dan McLaren trying to work his way back up there.
Guys are definitely driving a lot harder. A lot of guys are over driving the corners. I'm watching them wash up. Jeff Kemper just did it.
Nice battle here for second. Kyle Moonen, Zach Chapman. Isaac Salas out front. Dan McLaren's quickly now moved into the top four, and he makes a huge move to the inside. He'll make it 3 wide going into 3. Slight contact. They'll keep it going straight. More contact. Is McLaren looking to move up into the top 3. Great driving there by Chapman and McLaren as they made contact but did not falter. McLaren will clear Zach Chapman. Now looks to the inside of Moonen with 25 laps to go. He'll clear the 24 on the exit of turn number 2, and now he'll set his sights on Isaac Salas up ahead. You can see that gap between Salas and McLaren at 0.6 of a second. 24 laps to go. He cut 0.2 of a second off of it there through 1 and 2. And that 88 is on a mission. Really diamonding turns 1 and 2. That momentum off. He will pass for the lead in turn number 3. And just like that, with 22 laps to go, Dan McLaren is back out front.
That's bad news for the rest of the field. He's been strong all race.
So Isaac Salas led the last 20 laps before Dan McLaren made his way back up. And John, it was about a lap and a half. Dan was able to cut 0.6 of a second off and make a move for the lead. Impressive there by the 88.
Oh, absolutely. On a small track, it's really, really tough to make up time, and everybody's so close together, you know, on the stopwatch, and it's a heck of a drive by McLaren.
So Chapman currently in the 3rd spot. That's Zach Chapman. He's got Colin Johnson all over the back of him. Colin trying to get into that top 3. That restart with about 30 laps to go, you were exactly right, John. Ever since the green flag has dropped, the intensity has picked up.
Yeah, I'm at the back, and even back here it has. Guys have gotten a little chippy. So, I mean, drivers know. They know when it's go time.
Colin Johnson moves around Zach Chapman. Now Preston Kramer looking to move around the 72. Preston Kramer, our hard charger. Oh, as he and Zach Chapman make contact, Chapman and he will move to the inside. Preston had been our hard charger. as the caution flag will wave with 17 laps to go.
So we have some takers on the pit road.
Including Isaac Salas, Kyle Moon, and Donovan Ross, Preston Kramer, Jacob Butcher, Zach Chapman. So we'll get another restart. Close to a dozen laps to go by the time we get back to green. Top three is going to be Dan McLaren, Colin Johnston, Jeffrey Kemper.
Oh, what a bummer. I gave up all my tracks position. I guess I should be looking at things, but came in to get a fresh pair of tires, and we don't have any tires left.
Rookie move.
Oh, I was like going to be battling for the lucky dog, too, when we go back. Thinking I had one of those Formula One stops pulled in there, and next thing I know, they're releasing me about like 0.4 seconds later.
You had the old Wood Brothers pit crew from back in the day.
Yes, and they need to be in the old Andy Granatelli pit uniforms, those STP ones.
So we have 11 cars on the lead lap. Jeremy Tate's our hard charger currently up 9 spots into the 10th position. As the lights will go off that Stephen King Foundation pace car this time by. And we will go back to green with 12 laps to go. So looking at tires, yeah, Dan McLaren, Colin Johnson pitted on lap 56, Jeffrey Kemper on lap 45, Isaac Salas on lap 74, Clevenger 57, and then everybody else on lap 74 or 75.
Yeah, no one can come in and get those extra tires, which makes me, and I'm sure Isaac and them made the same mistake. Because, yeah, they pitted.
So, Mission 22 restart. 12 laps from Richmond. We are green. Good restart for McLaren. Good restart for Kemper on the inside as well, as he'll move up into the second position by the time they enter turn number 1. That's Donovan Ross down to the inside, down the backstretch. Isaac Salas looking to move his way up. He's up into the 4th spot. Looking to go to the inside of Kemper. Double ones, 11 laps to go. Now working on the Johnston machine is Salas. Of course, we will interview the top 3 finishers here tonight from Richmond. And now Isaac Salas sets his sights on the 88 of McLaren up ahead. The roles are reversed. McLaren's got 0.4 of a second lead on that 5. Isaac closes that gap all the way to the bumper of the 88 through 1 and 2. 9 laps to go. Moonen and Donovan Ross trade that 3rd spot back and forth. And John, we're going to have Isaac Salas here making an attempt at the lead.
Under 10 to go. That's not a lot of time to get it done.
He'll fall back in line. Coming to 8 laps to go. Isaac Salas within striking distance as Kyle Moonen has taken over that 3rd spot. Preston Kramer's rebounded from that last caution. He's back up into the top 10 now. Isaac Salas has to get hard on the brakes as he almost got into the rear of the 88. That'll lose some momentum and ground for him for the lead. And now Kyle Moonen has closed that gap behind him. Isaac will look to the inside. Won't make a move there. 5 laps to go. Four laps to go as the top 3 tighten up. Moonen now looking to the inside of the 5 through 1 and 2. He falls back in line. Zach Chapman has also joined this party up front. As Salas right to the bumper of the 88, middle of the corner in 3 and 4. 3 laps to go. Zach Chapman will make a move. He will move into the 3rd spot. Coming to the white flag, Isaac Salas will drift up the track, fall back down in line. White flag waves. Isaac Salas looks to the outside of McLaren through 1 and 2. Moonen now holds onto that 3rd spot behind him. McLaren will hold him off down the backstretch, coming through 3 and 4 for the final time at Richmond. Salas to the outside, McLaren to the inside. It's going to be McLaren at the line. Salas 2nd, Moonen 3rd. Zach Chapman 4th, Donovan Ross 5th. Butcher, Johnston, Clevenger, Kemper, Kramer will round out your top 10. And John, what a finish that was.
Yeah, what a race. That was a lot of long green flag runs and everything else. Had a little bit of everything.
They'll get parked there on the front stretch at the start-finish line. And we will talk to those top 3 finishers here in a moment. As Dan McLaren will celebrate his victory on the front stretch. we'll bring up our second place finisher. It's Isaac Salas. Isaac, great battle all night between you and that 88. Walk us through those final dozen laps as you got up to him and had plenty of opportunities to make a move for the lead.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was definitely a team game tonight. We told each other we want to finish 1-2, and honestly, the only way I was gonna be able to pass Dan was to either bump him out of the way or wreck him. So probably wouldn't have went well. Over, just saying. but yeah, I mean, I had fresher tires. I got right back up to him, and I kind of tried to leave it for like the last 5 laps to settle something. But it was fun.
When you look back and rewatch those last half a dozen laps, is there anything right now here in the moment that you would have done differently?
I definitely would have stayed in the throttle coming out of 2 on that last lap, probably. I definitely had the run. I might have ended up in the fence, though. That was the only thing. So other than that, though, I mean, other than giving him a little love tap to shut him in the corner a little bit deeper, I think that would be the only thing.
Well, and then on top of it, as you were trying to chase down Dan, you had Moonen and Zach enter the picture behind you. Were you aware they were there, or was that something that you weren't focused on as you looked out the front window?
I was focused on everything you could think about. I knew they were there, and I was, like I said, I was trying to play the team game to where I could battle just Dan in like the last 5, and didn't get to really battle Dan until the last 2, so I kind of screwed myself there. But like I said, it was a fun race. If I would have had like one more lap, I probably could have went right around the outside. But it is what it is. I'll take a second for the points night for sure.
Well, a great run there. Any sponsors or fans you want to give a shout out to here in the asphalt car?
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to Venom Racing tonight, man. That's a 1-2. I think we took 1-2 in trucks last night too, even so that's pretty sweet. Dean Super Dirt Car Series for the support, even though this is asphalt, as crazy as that is. Magnum Race Designs for that beautiful Busch Light car. Got Your 6 Racing Network, RSN Trackside, Mission 22, my Gramps with Top Notch Trucking. Thank you guys for the broadcast. I bet that last 10 was a treat, so I'm excited to go back and watch that. Thanks to my friends, thanks to my family, and thanks to my girlfriend, because I could feel her freaking staring at me from the other room. So that's all I got.
Well, great run. Another great Thursday night out, Isaac. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
That's Isaac Salas. So I'll throw it over to you, John. You've got our winner, Dan McLaren.
Yeah, Dan, I tell you, what a show you put on there. Smooth and fast, man. I kind of I called this early, so I am going to toot my own home because I kind of feel like I won too. So thanks for that. But, man, tell me how you got it done tonight.
Just running your own race, man. Richmond's just that unique type of track where you run the track. You don't, try to race the guys ahead of you. You just let them run their own race, and if they're going to use their tires up, let them use them up, and just let the race come to you.
Well, whatever you did well there, and that's kind of what happened there. But you did have some pressure at the end there. Were you kind of trying to save and keep them at bay at the same time, or were they? Did they actually have something there for you?
No, I was nervous when that last caution came out. I knew that the one before that I took tires, and that was my last set. So if another caution came out, whoever didn't pit was gonna pit. And sure enough, Isaac, Moonen, they all ducked in. And I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting because the last restart I used my tires up pretty good trying to get around Chapman and Moonen and to get down to Isaac. So, yeah, with 10 to go, I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad my teammate's behind me. So if it was anybody else, I probably would have been a little more nervous for sure.
It's always good to rather be on the relative or in the rearview mirror to know a teammate's back there. But hey, man, congratulations on a win tonight. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
Thanks very much. Yeah, all the guys, Venom Racing. It's pretty cool. 2 nights in a row, Isaac and I finished 1-2 on the asphalt. So yeah, all the guys at Venom, great group of guys. WeldStar Custom Fabrications, BMR Wraps, Magnum Race Designs, all you guys behind the scenes at Coast to Coast, and you guys for putting on these awesome broadcasts.
Well, thanks, man, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Stan McLaren, our winner tonight from Richmond, and Travis, that's gonna wrap our night up a little bit, but we do go to the High Banks next week, don't we?
We do. We will be at Daytona with this NASCAR Xfinity division here on Thursday Night Thunder. John, it was another exciting night of racing. Appreciate you jumping on the call with us here as we finish tonight with the Pro Late Model Dirt Series, or the Pro Late Model Division and the NASCAR Xfinity Division here on Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. You've been watching Extreme eSpeed TV here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We look forward to seeing you at a racetrack soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme eSpeed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme eSpeed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.